Welcome, everyone, to the Four Post Massacre Podcast. I am, of course, your host, Simply Zaya. You can simply call... I'm in a bad mood. What's your fucking name this week?
You wanna take that again?
No, I don't! You pissed me off.
Sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. What's your name?
Oh. Well, he's in a bad mood. That's upsetting because we shouldn't be. It's a big night for all of us. It's a great show you're going to have. We got a great guest. But it's your girl, Alexa Cannabis, in the house tonight. It's better than last week. You didn't even get the CBD reference.
And joining us all the way from that tiny pond over there called Tennessee, he is, of course, the, I should say former owner of Battle Pro. He is also, one of my closest friends here that we've had on this thing in, a while. It is none other than current, part-time professional wrestler, part-time, I don't know what else you do in your fucking free time, because I don't intrude on your personal life. It's Malik Brown, everybody!
Hey, what's up? Part-time jack of all trades. Let's go with that.
Yeah! That'll keep things open-ended. But Malik, I ask this of every single person who gets on this podcast with us, but what is your extensive knowledge in terms of professional wrestling? Like, how far back does that go all the way to now?
Oh, God. Let's see. I started watching professional wrestling when I was 6 years old, so 96.
Jesus Christ.
And just to tell you, the majority of my knowledge is a bit, especially when I was younger, it's a bit limited because, you know, when you're a kid, you don't remember a lot of stuff.
Obviously.
But wrestling, though, God, I remember it. 96 was when I started getting into wrestling. And funny enough, I didn't really have like a favorite wrestling promotion to watch because if it was wrestling, I would watch it. So I would get WWF, which was called at the time. I get WCW, right?
Mm-hmm.
But since my mom had that hookup, we got cable channels that no other person had on their block, so I would get ECW.
Nice.
So I watched ECW for the first time when I was 6 years old, and yeah, that.
Wait, did they not have cable boxes in 96?
ECW.
Or what the fuck?
Well, I mean, we had cable boxes. It's just that my mom had more programming on hers because she had a hookup at the little cable shop. She knew people, so they would give her. So basically, my mom was like a banker ever since I was 6. So she would always help people out with their finances and everything. And one of the guys was like, "We'll give you the premier channel set for a whole year because you helped us out."
Nice.
And so I pretty much was watching. So not only was I watching WCW, WWF, I also watched ECW. I used to get, and since you had the basic, you had basic cable channels like that basic cable. You would get that one channel where it was just like local shows and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. So
they would record Mid-South Wrestling.
Oh God.
So they would not IWA Mid-South, actual like Mid-South Wrestling.
Yeah.
So I would, which had a lot of USWA guys. So I would be like watching matches between Wolfie D and Jamie Dundee, or Doug Gilbert and Wolfie D. It was weird.
Nice. All right. So what is your current knowledge of professional? Like, what do you watch nowadays, or do you watch it now at all? Considering that wrestling is kind of what you do now.
Oh no, I still watch it. It's just What's changed is that the majority of the time that I do watch it as a fan, but I also watch it to learn.
Yeah, I would think so.
Most of the time I'm watching it literally muted, just studying how the match goes.
Oh, nice.
And most of the time, it's specific wrestlers that I watch just so I can learn how they do things. Like, I went a month watching nonstop Samoa Joe ROH and learning how Samoa Joe works in the ring. Now I'm one half watching a shit ton of Dave Taylor matches while also watching some old Kevin Steen stuff, you know.
Yeah, I get you. All right, nice. Well, hopefully, all of that knowledge comes into a bit of play when we talk about all the other stuff we're talking about, because we've got some stuff we need to go over. Obviously, big fucking week for AEW, and we're going to be covering that in just a few. Also going to be talking about Dark Side of the Ring, the double life of Chris Kanyon, and his whole complicated history in professional wrestling, and just his impact alone in professional wrestling today. Also, hopefully, by the time we get to the end of it, Malik will have something scheduled for us. Also, we got our news segment going over a few things that happened over this week. But let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into our AEW Dynamite review. Adam! Did he leave? What the
He said, hold on.
Oh my god! Alright, Dynamite, the flashing lights, all that Cody Rhodes is, but this is usually his gimmick. So, we had AEW Grand Slam, both nights on Wednesday and Friday, but at Arthur Ashe Stadium, which is not only the biggest crowd AEW has done, but I believe it is the biggest American crowd for any wrestling company non-WWE related since WCW.
Yeah. 20,177 people.
Jesus Christ. And you could definitely tell those 20,000 were here because they were loud for both shows, actually. The reason why this whole thing was important, though, is because one of our own happened to be at that show. Adam went to the Arthur Ashe show, and this would be about the time where he would go over his experience, what he saw there, and how much he liked it, but apparently he just left. So now I guess we're just going to go on and talk about the show. So we opened it up. So before the show even started, there was Meltzer, I think, mentioned it on Twitter, that Omega and Danielson...
I'm here. I'm back.
I hate you so much.
Unprofessional.
Alright. Could you, now that you're here, please tell the audience about your experience at AEW Grand Slam, considering that you were at both shows?
Yes, I was there. It was a magical time.
Is that it?
No. I mean, okay. So I'll start off. I won't go into all the detail. I'll wait for some of the match responses. But getting there was fun. So the biggest takeaway, not involving the show itself, because both shows I thought were exactly what they over-delivered in some capacities. They had this was either going to fall flat on their face or they were going to hit the home run, and they did just that. Or hit the tennis ball, because they're in the tennis stadium. But yes, you're welcome. But the biggest issue was the stadium itself was not ready for wrestling fans or a wrestling show to this capacity, because God, was it not fun.
What? Why? Why do you say that?
Let's see. I waited an hour online to get to a merch table. They were completely understaffed. They were running out of food. Lines throughout the entire show. I mean, some people were waiting an hour just to get in the bathroom. And, most times you go to these shows, they have a three, tier structure. There's your bottom floor, your mid tier, and you got your upper tier. This arena does not have a middle tier. So and they weren't allowing anybody from the upper tier go down to the bottom tier because they didn't want to cluster on the bottom tier. So you have two tiers of people all on one tier trying to get everything in a giant circle, a very small giant circle.
Wow. Jesus. That sounds like
it was, but the show itself was fantastic because everything involving the show was great. I didn't end up eating, sadly.
I would guess that the food lines were also very fucking disastrous.
Yes. And then, eventually, we get up ready to get our drinks because we're like, okay, well, I need to get something. I need to drink something. I'm parched. And then the system went down on that computer.
Yeah, I swear that.
They were running out of pretzels, and then the crowd started chanting, "We want pretzels!" Again, this is a tennis stadium. All they do in this stadium is tennis. Tennis stadiums do not have copious amounts of beer and merchandise stands and rowdy fans who chant. They weren't ready. They were not ready.
They really weren't. Jesus.
But that's not AEW's fault. That's the stadium's fault. Hey, apparently Tony Khan wants to do this yearly at Arthur Ashe. I think if they were able to sell at Arthur Ashe like that, like they could, and there's a way you can broker some kind of a deal, Citi Field's right next door. Yeah. So, why not? I mean, obviously that would have to depend because baseball season is on right now too. So you would have to figure out how to do it and not get in the way of the Mets. Even though it's the Mets, I don't even know baseball, but I know the Mets suck. So I don't know. Wrestling probably better, but that's for then. All my other opinions and everything will be discussed as we go through the show and also on the vlog that will be up by now.
All right. Well, there you go, everybody. That was Adam Jackpot's experience. So let's just get right into the show. So, like I was going to mention...
Oh, a lot of Adam Cole Bebes.
Yeah, no kidding. We'll talk about...
No, I mean, throughout the crowd in the into... Yeah.
Oh, no, we'll talk about how over Adam Cole when we get to fucking how over Adam Cole was when we get to Rampage. Jesus Christ.
A lot of woos, a lot of insensitive people.
So... it was mentioned on Twitter by Meltzer that the main event of the show would be Ruby Soho against Britt Baker for the AEW Women's World Championship. So everyone was kind of like, huh, all right. Just kind of...
didn't know that.
We kind of... No, well, yeah, he had mentioned it before the show had went on. I think it was like an hour before the show went on. And so
I was in line.
Yeah, no shit. No kidding.
Trying to get a fucking baseball cap.
So everyone on Twitter is now like, all right, so where are we gonna put Omega and Danielson? Because you don't want to put them at like semi-main because then everyone's gonna be fucking tired from Omega and Danielson going into the main event match. So where's that? Where does that leave us? These motherfuckers had the audacity to put this fucking match at the start of the goddamn show. I couldn't believe it.
Legitimate surprise reaction. I'm thinking like, oh man, main event, can't fucking wait. Oh, what are they gonna open with? Oh, maybe they'll open with the women, give them the start. And then fucking Brian's music starts playing. And I'm like, oh, okay. Let's see where this goes. Again, Tony Khan loves to specify that the opening match really is his main event because it's the most eyes. That turned out to be true. They went over 1.5 combined total of this match alone. So, listen, I thought the show all overall was fantastic, regardless of this not being the main event. But a hell of a way to be like, stick it to the man. Let's give them this to start the show.
That really was I was I was really shocked because I make it a habit because of my work that I don't watch the show, but I do catch it when I get off of work. So when I did finally got to watch Rampage and Dynamite, dear God, when they started off with with Danielson and Omega, I was floored. I was like everybody else, like, what the hell? Because you would think because that's a main event caliber match.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he put that as the first match. And all that went in my head was, Jesus Christ, what's the rest of the show going to be like if that's your opening match?
So, yeah, Jesus Christ. So, we started off, Danielson comes out, and he's in, like, his old red attire. Finally got to hear Justin Roberts announce him as the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, and that was so cool. So fucking great.
It was beautiful.
The ROH chant was back.
Yeah, they tried. I have a feeling that chant will probably get a lot more over in a smaller crowd and not 20,000 people.
I heard some people. So I heard it.
I heard it too. I heard like small parts of it, but they couldn't really. I don't think the crowd could really like synchronize.
It's a lot to. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you're gonna get your fucking head in.
People sing Kenny Omega's theme now, which I didn't know.
Yeah, Kenny's.
I was like, oh, that's cool.
I normally hear them like they scream the best bout machine part of his song. I've noticed that a lot. But yeah, Omega comes out. These men get in their corners. Referee rings the bell, and
no, even before the bell, this crowd, I get being there. It's every single person is screaming, and then they don't even lock up yet.
Nope.
Sorry. And they're still screaming. And then they lock up, and I have never in my life, watching or being there live, heard a bigger pop crowd reaction for a fucking lockup in my life.
They fucking went.
This was as loud as CM Punk's returning pop, but this is a lockup. And as soon as that happened, I knew I was in for something special.
So we finally get into the match, and it's I honestly don't know what you could have possibly asked for more than what these two just fucking gave us. Like, we had to I don't know if anybody wanted they might be saving up for more, and they might not want to give out too much. They just fucking went at it. They held nothing back here, and it was just fucking glorious. I already tweeted it out. It was the best TV match I've ever seen in my life, and I still stick by that after watching it back. It's fucking glorious. So, just the fact of the matter is that the basic gist of the story is that Omega really doesn't want to get caught in one of Danielson's submissions, especially the label lock, because he knows that if Danielson locks that in, this shit's done. It is over with. So first they're taking their time, they're playing the ground game. They're starting to one up each other because Omega starts getting all cocky and stuff. He does cartwheels, he's chopping, he's playing with Danielson, but Bryan makes it pretty known very quickly that he's not the man to be playing with, and literally just fucking kicks the shit out of him for the rest of the match. Kenny would respond by chopping the shit out of Danielson for the rest of the match. The kicks
and chops were so loud. The best, I will say, to put over the stadium as on its own, because it's a tennis, it rises, and the acoustics in this place were amazing. You could hear everything. There were points where, like, when they would scream at each other, you could hear the screaming. It was very good. That was one of the best things about it. Shit echoed.
So it's like by the end of this match, like fucking Danielson's chest looked like a pound of like raw grounded meat. It was disgusting.
The things that they did in this match.
Like, all right, so
wow.
Some of the things, like the fucking Snapdragon.
Oh my god, the Snapdragon on the but the LED walkway, which I thought was really cool looking.
Yeah.
Was already gnarly.
The fucking the fucking Ultra V trigger where fucking Omega just gets a fucking running start and just absolutely blasts Danielson with quite possibly the best V trigger he's ever hit in his career. And considering how
that was beautiful
V triggers he's hit, that's saying a fucking lot. But
he killed him. I thought that was the end. I was like, yep, okay, and one-winged angel, right? No, he just continues to just kill him. The fucking dragon off the top of the rope.
So for the first time, they were teasing it. I was like, all right, he's obviously not going to take that bump. And he didn't. Danielson, like, reversed it. He got him with a fucking sick-ass backdrop off of the top rope, which was great. Danielson then proceeds to pull out a fucking Regalplex.
That was... I popped so hard.
Oh, I was out of my seat when
I was like, damn straight, William Regal. Dude, pulled out the cattle mutilation.
The cattle mutilation! He never once pulled that out, ever, in WWE.
Yeah.
The American Dragon was back.
Like, that was the match where he was showing people, like, yeah, I'm back.
He was doing those running corner drop kicks again that they were told him to stop doing because of the neck issue. I was like, shit, just do everything again, Brian.
Yes.
Brian was the little definition of I am defiant, F you, I am back, and I'm going to go 100.
Well,
I believe, did he hit Kenta's stolen move number 2?
The Busaiku
the Busaiku.
He tried to.
He blocked it, yeah.
He blocked it with a fucking, he popped it, he turned it into a power bomb, and then picked him back up, hit him with another V-trigger for, like, a close 2 count. Then Omega proceeds to go about the top with him. Hits a fucking top rope dragon suplex that turns Brian inside out. I don't think he's hit that.
I thought he was dead.
I don't think he's hit that move since his first match with the fucking Okada back at Wrestle Kingdom.
It was at that point. It was at that point when he hit that dragon suplex that I went in my head and I go, I know where this story's going now.
Yeah. Piggyback on that.
Going. And at that point, I'm like, yep, Kenny knows exactly what he's in that ring with. And he said, you want the best bout machine? Cool. And Kenny came out and pulled out all his greatest hits, just like how Brian pulled out his greatest hits. Because I think even going into the match, because I noticed this, Brian got into Kenny's head.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Especially by the end of it. You can tell because he's still going on about it on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which makes me believe that there's going to be an Iron Man match.
Well, that goes into the finish of the match.
Which, so, as person home, I don't know how, I assume commentary watching it on TV. Poor Sahaya, what a simpleton, had to watch it on TV.
Fuck off.
I assume they were mentioning time limit or what was going on because in the crowd, we were given the 5-minute warning by Justin.
All right, so
this match was. Well, hold on, just let me finish my point, Mister. Wow, so jumpy today.
I'll strangle you, and then you'll never jump again.
This match was so good that when he said 5-minute, I was like, he said what now?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna bring up because it's like he kept saying the time thing, but nobody could fucking hear it because everyone's being fucking loud.
Oh yeah. There was like he tried, and like I caught it, and I think a few people started to catch it because once like it echoed through, everybody started to like shush and be like, "Wait, hold what?" Because you would never have known because of how damn good this match was that 25 minutes had already passed,
So like,
unless you were like looking at the time. And at that point, I was like, "Oh no! Oh, they were gonna go with the draw."
and so like, all right. So here's like, I heard I thought I heard Justin Roberts say something, but again we couldn't hear it. It wasn't until Excalibur finally said like, "Oh shit, this match only has 45 seconds left," and we're like, "Wait, what?" Like, huh? There's 45 what?
I was kind of floored. Okay, wait. There's a time limit. What?
Yeah. Hey, listen. Again, I think this is the fourth draw in AEW history. When they pull these out, I think it does end up adding. I know a lot of people were like negative about it, but if you really think about it, either you're gonna have Kenny lose, and then people are gonna be like, Kenny loses again, or Brian's gonna lose, and they're gonna be like, his first match. The draw, honestly, is the best scenario. Neither man looks bad coming out of this fucking match, and you have instant replay value in a feud or doing this match again with a story already built in. It's the best win-win scenario.
So, yeah.
The crowd were upset not because the match was bad, it's because they wanted more. And what more can you ask for?
So yeah, near the end, Danielson starts doing the stomps to the head. He tries to lock in the label lock, but Kenny is literally fighting for his life at this point. He will not allow Danielson to lock this fucking thing because he knows if he gets locked in, he's going to tap out. He fights, he gets the ropes. Is at this point, Excalibur says that we've got like 45 seconds left. And at this point, these two are just wailing on each other. Danielson's kicking Omega. Omega's chopping at it. Like, they're just still going at it. They don't give a damn about this time limit thing anymore. And then the bell rings. These two are still fighting, and they are not stopping. They're still going at it. They don't give a fuck about this bell. They don't give a fuck about this time limit. Brian's just going. He takes down Omega and starts hammering him with elbows. He gets to the point where referees had to come out, stop it. The Elite eventually comes down. They take off Danielson off of Omega. They then proceed to triple super kick Danielson while he's in the corner. That is when Jurassic Express and Christian come down. They make the save, and that is how we end that segment. Oh,
now, me, like a lot of other people in the crowd, as you heard, I thought this was going to be the return of Hangman. That didn't turn out to be the case.
No, it didn't.
But all in all,
how everything is right now, like, did it need it? Did it really?
No.
Because that was my thought. Like, I don't think this, like, with everything going on tonight, I think you could save the Hangman spot or something. And plus, we already know the Virginia shows are coming up, and we know he's going to be on that. They pretty much said he's going to be on those shows. So, it's coming, people. But, yeah, this match was perfect. It was legitimately everything I wanted in a match between Omega and Danielson. I literally could not ask for more. But apparently, it looks like we're still going to get more, which scares me and excites me at the same time.
I am a proud fan of this industry to say that I was there for this. And that's enough for me. I witnessed a beauty of a wrestling match. Nothing. What more could I have asked for? The American Dragon finally being able, with no limitations, and a pure wrestle-driven Kenny Omega. What the fuck? Art. That was art. Art, my friend. Bryan Danielson getting his first ever 5-star. I think it was 5.5 is what Dave gave it.
No, Ishii and Shingo got 5.5. But
I know this match got a 5.
It did get a 5. He did give it a 5.
But the fuck? And this was the beginning.
Yeah.
let that sink in.
This
was the beginning.
This isn't us being like, okay, now time for Rampage.
It's like this was the beginning of the show, and the rest of the night was also spectacular. Like, Jesus.
It was like how I felt like after I watched Omega and Okada for the first time. I was like, I'm pretty sure that was like the best thing I've ever seen. And when their rematch got announced, I was like, okay, well, I don't know how they're going to be able to follow that shit. And then they followed it like 3 other fucking times, which is how I imagine this whole Omega Danielson thing going.
After this match was done, they said, oh, Punk's going to come talk. This is where I decided to go and try to get a drink. So I missed the promo, even though I heard it, so I didn't really miss it. But I did miss MJF and Pillman, which we'll get to.
You missed MJF?
I missed 2-time Julia.
Alright, so yeah, Punk promo after that match. Keeping the crowd hot. Punk literally just brings up how Team Taz tried to take him out, how they tried to put him through the table. Team Taz is trying their best to make that old CM Punk come back out, and he said, you give it enough time, he might, but for right now, I'm on, the high of my life. Like, this is everything I've wanted. Like, you guys can't take that away from me. And he's going to beat Hobbs at Rampage, and he's going to take out Team Taz in the process. This is basically what this promo was. It's basically a big hype promo for the Rampage match. It's kind of what we expected it to be.
Yeah, and it was good. It was good mic work from Punk as usual.
Yeah, of course. You just give Punk, just tell Punk to say anything. He'll find something to say.
He mentioned, like a lot of people mentioned, that wrestling was back in New York again after a long time.
Which, I mean, he's not wrong. He's not.
He's not. I mean, that other that other Fed doesn't consider itself a wrestling company.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I don't think that person has never considered himself a wrestling promotion. He's sports entertainment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good stuff from Punk. After that, though, we get the match between MJF and Brian Pillman Jr. MJF comes out, and he comes out with Wardlow. Obviously, he's got to have his bodyguard. So, who does fucking Pillman come out as backup to hopefully fend off Wardlow in this situation?
2-time Julia.
Julia. Like, what?
I cracked up.
What you talking about Julia Hart? 2-time.
2-time what?
2-time national cheerleading champion Julia Hart.
Wait, is that for real? Is that for shoot?
Yes, that's the thing. Yeah,
that's her shtick. 2-time cheerleading champion.
Considering how young she was, that probably happened like last year.
2-time Julia. Because Chris Garrison was assaulted on Rampage a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. He wasn't even hurt that bad.
Well, he can't be here because he was hurt by Wardlow.
Bullshit.
So instead, Julia, 2-time.
These two have a perfectly fine match. They didn't really do much. Like, MJF just kind of, like, heat the crowd. Like, it was just a pure heat magnet, obviously. Pillman has his ways to go, but he's getting there. He's starting to get there.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I give Pillman till November, mid October at best. Realistically, I give him like a month, and he will hit his strides. And once he does, it's gonna be the sky's the limit.
Yeah, I think
waiting online, I could hear the Pillman chants, so people were into him.
Yeah,
yeah,
well, obviously.
Like I said, bro, give Pillman like half a month or a full month, and he'll get up there.
Oh, obviously.
I hope this isn't. I know this isn't the end of the program between him and MJF. Real talk, I think it'd be great for them to do a program. You know, because I think there's a lot of good chemistry there.
Right.
And I know, and I've seen Pillman work before AEW, and I know what he's capable of. So it's going to be interesting to see what they go to, and also if they play it right, because I've saw some hints of it, but I don't know if it's true. The dissension between Wardlow and MJF.
Oh yeah, that's happening. That is most certainly happening.
So I will say, possibly, if this program does continue, which I'm hoping it will, we might see Wardlow break away from MJF.
Which is going to be huge. It's gonna be...
Oh, like, I hate to use this as an example because I think this is kind of an insult to MJF, but remember that huge pop Alex Riley got when he broke away from the Miz?
And he did. Look, I give Riley shit a lot of the time, mainly because he deserves it, but for those 2 weeks, those 2 weeks, he was very over.
Like, I think the moment Wardlow breaks from MJF, that's going to be the biggest pop Wardlow will ever get, and that will go into a series between MJF and Wardlow, and that's going to be crazy.
Yeah. But, the finish of the match came, he hit a drop kick onto MJF on the outside, puts him back in the ring, goes for Air Pillman, but MJF immediately catches him in the salt of the earth. Pillman has no choice. He's got to tap out, and he does. MJF is your winner.
MJF did that after he tried to kiss Julia. Why doesn't he get suspended?
What?
Max Caster got suspended because he talked about her muffin.
Max Caster didn't fucking he didn't get suspended for calling Julia a whore for a good month.
Double standards, Tony Khan.
Oh my... All right.
God.
So after this,
well, that wasn't it. Anyway,
Hager and Jericho have a promo.
2-time.
They're shut up. They're basically hyping up their match with the Men of the Year, or mostly it's just America's Top Team. Men of the Year are just kind of there, apparently. Jericho.
Right, which kind of okay. This one kind of gets me a little confused. And there are times I'm not kidding you. I watch that and I'm like, oh yeah, Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky are somewhere in there. I forgot they were there.
Yeah, that's kind of
which is sad.
Yeah,
which is sad. And I'm like, yo, this kind of isn't good because Guy and Paige are great, dude. But when you are being overshadowed by Junior Dos Santos and Mr. Two Piece and a Coke himself, you ain't got really nothing, you know?
Yeah.
When Jorge Masvidal and fucking Junior Dos Santos is like overshadowing you, ugh.
It's not looking pretty good for the Men of the Year right now, and it definitely doesn't look that way after Rampage. But we'll get into that later. But after that, we go into Malachi Black taking on the returning Cody Rhodes.
Cody!
And you know how they say, absence makes the heart grow fonder. That's the saying. In terms of like, well, man,
exactly how I felt.
For so long, So Malachi comes out, he makes his promo, very over. Crowds very much likes him. Cody,
sick entrance live.
Cody finally makes
2 weeks in a row.
Cody finally makes his big return.
He's back.
He's back, baby. He's in the All-American Homelander gear once again. He comes out and he gets booed. Right out of that fucking stadium.
These people are dumb. Such dumb people. Bad people. Bad take.
Like, I'm gonna be completely 100 with you. I thought that was unnecessary. Like, look, I get what people think about Cody, but
Were they booing Cody or were they booing Brandy? Because she was back.
No, they were booing Cody.
Because I know, because Brandy, we'll talk, she gets involved in this match, and that was a massive boo.
Oh, boy, when she got involved in that match. Oh, my God. That was... I never saw someone get that much heat before a day in their life when she got involved in that match. Christ.
So these two have a pretty good match.
They did, and that's the problem. It was a good match, but that crowd was all like, "Fuck you, Cody, Malachi Black."
Every single time he got offense.
Hold on, not that whole crowd, because I was chanting for Cody Rhodes.
Of course you were.
Okay,
and I'm very proud. I'm very proud of you, Adam.
I got to see Cody Rhodes and that. Listen, I'll be honest. This match kind of kicked ass.
Yeah,
I was very.
Like,
I thought it was either going to be like, oh, Malachi's either going to kill him again real quick, or like Cody's going to get a real quick victory himself. Instead, these two put on a really good match with some really good story.
Okay, can I just say, I think this is the biggest problem people have always had because they get so blind on Cody hate. Cody has always been a great storyteller.
Yeah.
The sooner you understand that, the sooner you can throw that bias out the door, no matter what you think about him, no matter what you feel about him. The fact is, when Cody puts on a match, it's always going to be a very intense match because he knows how to tell a story. He knows how to draw the people in. He knows how to do that. And I'm going to be on, and somebody put this out, but I think it kind of suits it. The white people's favorite wrestler to make fun of because of his politics.
Wow.
I just wanted to throw that out there.
So, yeah, Malachi.
Totally not because his wife is black too, but we can go into that.
God. All right, so Malachi, very kicky, punchy dude. Crowd loves it. Cody, every time he tries to do anything, it's just boo. Fuck off.
Get on him so hard.
There's a point in the match where Brandy tries to distract Malachi. Malachi sitting in the middle of the ring. Brandy just proceeds to flip him off, which was great. Malachi,
I love that, but everybody was like, "Yeah." I'm like,
laughing right at it. So there's another spot in this match that I really like. Cody goes up to the top and they're on the outside. Cody tries to go for a diving whatever the fuck and gets caught right in the face with a knee. That was a cool spot. Cody at one point tries to go for the crossroads. Can't get it. Knee to the head. Ducks a line from Malachi. Hits the Cody cutter, the springboard cutter, and then hits crossroads for a close 2 count into the match. I
was shocked that he kicked out. Nobody kicks out of the crossroads.
So into the match, Cody has Malachi in.
Oh, can we? I want to talk about the ending. It's so sad, so funny.
So Cody's in the corner with Malachi. He's beating away at Malachi. Referee's warning him. He's telling him get out of the corner. He's counting him, but Cody will not listen. He keeps telling him, and Cody just finally loses his cool. He back elbows the referee.
But we didn't talk about what happened before this.
Wait, what happened?
When poor Arn Anderson fell to the floor.
That was a legit. Okay, I think that was a botch. And
it was. Watching it live, I was like, what is Arn Anderson? He's trying to go across the ring. And I'm like, all right, this doesn't seem that hard. And then because I assume on camera they didn't show it, but he's just holding on. And I'm like, oh no, Arn Anderson's about to fall. Then Arn Anderson fell, and the whole crowd went, oh, and then they started laughing at poor Arn Anderson.
So, yeah, like I said.
That's not cool. Something could have legit been wrong with him.
I didn't care. They're fucking bloodthirsty. They wanted their pound.
It's New York fans.
Yeah.
Of course.
So
that's why I don't like New York. That's why I hate New York and Pennsylvania.
look,
But
I can't blame anybody for saying that. However, I thought they made up for it with what they did for both Santana and Ortiz and Eddie on Rampage, because those were very cool moments for them, I would think. But yeah, Cody hits the ref, elbows him, turns back to Malachi, who then proceeds to hit him with Black Mist and rolls him up with the small package for the 3 count. Malachi gets a second victory over the American Nightmare.
Seeing him missed live was so sick.
also, holy shit, Malachi brought the mist back.
Yeah.
The mist. I mean, it's not proper Black Mist, yeah, but the fact is, the mist has come back into the American wrestling scene, which is pretty damn cool.
You realize how over Tajiri was when he brought the fucking mist into WWE? Everybody loved that shit.
Yeah.
Also, I noticed on the big screen, because goddamn, the screen was big. It was a giant screen that was pretty much showing, I guess, what the TV feed was. I noticed that he has a red eye now.
Yes. His eye keeps getting worse and worse the more times
it's growing.
Yes.
I want to know. I can't wait to see where this ends.
You know who else has a red eye? Well, you know what? We'll save him for
Kane?
the segment. No, we'll save him for the new segment.
I want to know. I'm interested to see, like, what will the final, I don't know, virus or whatever this is, will look like on Malachi Black.
It's gonna be cool.
But awesome match. And it
And
looks like everybody is falling apart for Cody. Oh no, what's gonna happen?
It looks like the Nightmare family might be going through a little bit.
Looks like Cody's gonna go back to the dark side. That's what it looks like.
So already at this point, I think we're an hour into the show already.
Really? Like an hour and a half.
And already, like, there's just not been something bad. I mean, again, I didn't see MJF and Pillman, but from the crowd reaction, just waiting online, it seemed like the crowd was into it the entire time.
Yeah.
So already we're an hour in, we're on to something.
Next match after this, we got FTR.
What? Oh my God!
Taking on Darby and Sting.
Holy shit!
Sting is 62 years old and is just having wrestling matches now.
Sting?
He's just having wrestling.
I don't know how to explain.
Like he's just he's out here taking bumps. He's selling. Like
this man did a crossbody, and I nearly jumped out of my seat. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like,
I'm not gonna lie, low key, I was scared because I was like, are we sure this man should really still be wrestling? Because the last time he had a match, it was scary. Seth did a turnbuckle power bomb and didn't go well for him.
He did things in this match, and I said, what? Sting is like, this man was told, no more wrestle. And just like most other people here in AEW have proven, oh no, I still can wrestle. And like I said, Sting didn't like do triple German suplexes and like 450s. But I mean, for him to do a crossbody was pretty impressive nonetheless.
Yeah, the dude was taking moves. He took a suplex, and he was getting
bumped
on his back. The shit's insane.
Also, I think Akeem said it best. Sting worked the Fed.
Yeah, he really did.
He totally worked the Fed because if he could still work like that at 60.
Probably
he's working better. He's working better now than like his latter years in TNA. Even
he really is, and that gets me.
It's just proven that like he needed that motivation of a younger company with a better prospect, and he was like, I'm rejuvenated. And just like Stinger splashes, Scorpion death locks and drops, and just the chops and just everything. He's so good still.
Some of the best spots in this match, like Darby tries to go for a fucking coffin drop on the outside, but gets caught by FTR. and they just proceed to smash his head into the apron. Near the end of the match, I think he has Dax. Sting has Dax in the Scorpion Deathlock.
Yeah, and Cash is on the outside, and Darby just goes, okay, and then Coffin drops Cash while he's on the apron. This match,
give him a tag title match.
That's what I said. I was like, all right, so like they obviously deserve a shot, right? They're like undefeated as a tag team right now.
Well, first they have to go through the Gun Club, obviously.
No.
Yes.
This match, more than even like a Punk match that I watched later on, and maybe up there even with the opening contest, was the loudest this crowd was the whole night, and it was all for Sting. And goddamn, did he deserve it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Which, I mean, I think I'm with Adam in that regard. Like, yeah, I think the tag title match should be happening right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be on pay-per-view. Just put it on Dynamite. You just put Sting on Dynamite now and fight FTR. Why the fuck not? Put it on one of your, like, Fight for the Fallen specials. Just give them a shot. I want to see them and the Lucha Brothers. I want to see what Rey Fenix and Sting can do.
You know what? You're over here mocking that, but bro,
I'm very curious to see what Phoenix and Sting would do in a match. That sounds insane.
That sounds like something I don't know the world can handle, but that would be amazing.
I don't think anyone
TR
can handle that.
Were obviously great in this match as well. Tully Blanchard did his share. He got punched into face for his troubles. Just all around, just a very just enjoyable wrestling TV match.
Yeah.
Like nothing too crazy, nothing too out of the world, but just the story that was told was just perfect.
Fucking great. After this, though, it is now time for our main event. But before that, no, I guess we'll wait until Rampage for you to run down that whole card.
Yeah, I have to find out what the full card is. I know some matches were announced.
And I know some matches were announced on that Rampage show, so we will wait for that. So we will go straight into our main event, which was for the AEW World Women's Championship. Britt Baker and Ruby Soho. And before we get into the match, I just have to say how cool it is that just like Tony has this much trust in like how over both these women are that he would just give them this spot. Like he heard the reaction and obviously he's like, all right, put them in the main event. And that's fucking great. And to be quite honest, I thought these two had a really good match. Britt, like I said, like she's not in it for like for the long. She's always trying to finish the match as quick as possible, which is one of the things I really enjoy about her. She tries to go for the lockjaw multiple times in this match. She keeps hitting her with like super kicks. She tries to go for that the Pittsburgh Sunrise again at one point, but couldn't get it. Ruby got to show a lot more here than I think she's ever had, yeah. In the Fed, which was,
she brought it.
Yeah,
when this got announced as the main event over Bryan and Omega, and there were a lot of really good near falls in this match. I thought there was a chance they were just pulling the trigger and giving it to Ruby.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people.
She was like, Britt was over as fucking hell. I mean, but so was Ruby. This crowd was 50-50 for this entire match.
So they go through this match. They're hitting all. Ruby at one point hit a crossbody on everybody on the outside. Britt and her are like at one point. Well, she has Britt in the corner. She hits her with that thing, the knee meteora thing, where she puts her head into the middle thing.
The Deadly Nightshade.
Yeah, the Deadly Nightshade. That looked cool. She does her signature super kick spot. They trade super kicks at one point. There's another point that she hits like Brit's trying to go for her signature swinging fisherman neckbreaker, but Ruby counters it, turns it into a vicious backdrop driver, which is something I've never seen her do before.
She's done it once or twice.
That looked
like she's done it once or twice when she was going as Heidi Lovelace, but it's rare for her to do that.
Other spots, Britt hit a sick ass sling blade. Tried to go for the lockjaw again, got countered into like a fucking single leg I don't know like how to explain it. It was like a single leg, but she just like she was like not like seated, she was kneeling. So it was like kind of like a single leg crab, but like a knee bar as well. It looked disgusting because of the way she was twisting her leg. She hits her signature senton at one point. Britt answered back with the fisherman neckbreaker. At one point, Ruby and her on the top. I thought Ruby was trying to give her a superplex to the outside, which was already sounded ridiculous. But then Britt sets her up for a middle rope fucking air raid crash. And
that was crazy.
I'm very surprised that wasn't the finish of the match. She super kicks Ruby again. She hits her with the super kick on the outside. Ruby gets in, gets immediately hit with the curb stomp for a count of 2. Ruby then hits the riot kick, or whatever she calls it now. Does that have a name?
It's just the kick so far, I think.
Yeah, for all I know, she might go back to what it originally was called, which was it was originally called "Don't Be a Hero."
Oh, okay. Well, she gets that.
Did you mention the steel steps even getting involved as well?
Are you talking about where she double stomps her into the steps?
Jesus.
Yeah, that was gross. After she hits the kick on Britt, though, fucking Reba gets involved, and she gets kicked for her troubles. Jamie gets involved, but she hangs her out to dry with the stun gun. Britt then takes advantage, puts her into the lockjaw. Ruby's got no choice. She's got to tap out. Very good main event to close off a very fun Dynamite Grand Slam show. It was great.
So the best part about it was that I was like, well, and now I get Rampage right after this. It's like I wasn't done, and I could have been done. That could have been it. I could go home. I would have been so happy.
Yeah, after everything, I was like, yeah, great shit, AEW. We'll see you next time, but no, another show.
Women put on a hell of a main event. I thought it was really cool that it was the main event. Like, you go into this show that has that, the Kanyon Bryan match, and that also has the big Cody and Malachi rematch. For this to end up being the main event, I thought was really cool on Tony Khan, because that just shows that he does have a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for?
Faith?
There you go. He has a lot of faith in both of these women being just as big stars as the men are. It doesn't matter, male or female. Everybody's going to get the same treatment. And what a hell of a main event. Britt is a star. Ruby, I don't think anybody was expecting Ruby to be as massively over as she is right now since leaving. I know people were expecting her to have that, people are going to love to see her, but Jesus Christ. She's a star, and she's only been here for 3 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
People really just love this girl, which is really, really cool. So, you could have had the title change, and I don't think I would have batted an eye. But even with her winning, I think, Ruby still has, legs to be a champion down the line, and her stock's just going to rise, and Britt continues to just be the dominant face that she is.
Yeah, true. But
I agree with that, honestly.
Me too. But after that is now time for our AEW Rampage review.
Oh boy, Rampage. This was...
No, hold on. Come on. You've heard this song. You heard it live.
I wasn't paying attention.
Come on, dude.
Rampage. It's a rampage. It's a rampage. Rampage.
All right. Okay. Well,
I got nothing.
And
It's not as
tells everything again.
It's not as memorable as, Crash and the Bash with the boom and the bang and the dynamite. Cody Rhodes is back. Rhodes to the top premieres this week.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
So we just go straight into it. First match of the night, opening up hot like we did Dynamite. CM Punk making his return TV match in 7 years against Powerhouse Hobbs. And I know a lot of people went on to Twitter and said this match was great, but I thought this was actually a really good match between these two. Oh, go ahead.
I don't know. It was a good match. And I could tell that you could tell little bits in how Punk was working. There were points where he had that look like, come on, you know this shit. And the more matches he gets in, the more he'll start getting into speed, He'll start picking everything back up again.
Mm-hmm.
And the moment you start picking things back up again, then we're going to have something fun.
Big thing I noticed already from this match, Punk was back in Punk here.
Yeah, he went back to the short trunks.
CM Trunks.
Punk was back in Trunks. Yeah.
CM Trunks.
So quick question I'm going to ask here, because I don't know if this was on Rampage or if this is for Dark. I'm going to take a guess it's for Dark. Speaking of Dark, there was a Elevation. I got to see Big Show wrestle Ricky Shane Page. That happened. I'm still very excited about that. So go watch Elevation. And also the Gun Club are there too, and that was sad.
Aww.
But did you guys on Rampage see the Tony Khan Max Caster thing?
The one with Lil Uzi Vert?
With Little Uzi Vert.
No, we did not.
I was cracking up. That was great.
I was thinking that was going to be safe for Elevation.
That might be on Elevation.
Yeah.
So yeah, they had a small little rap thing back and forth. He brings Little Uzi Vert out. He does nothing. Little Uzi Vert doesn't even mutter a word. He stands there because Tony Khan said, oh, he wrote the rap for him. It was a very basic rap, like, I'm here to say type shit like that. Tony Khan, big reaction. Max Caster, boo reaction. Funny stuff. Little Uzi Vert, I guess. Jadakiss was there too.
No shit.
Wow.
They did a shout out to him during between Rampage and Dynamite.
Nice.
So I was just wondering if that was on Rampage or not.
No, it was on Rampage.
But all right. So yeah, that happened. That was fun. He got a pretty damn good reaction. But then this match, honestly, was not expecting it to be as good as it turned out to be. I thought this match was gonna be really quick, but this got a lot of time. I felt like
they gave Hobbs a lot to work with here on this match. He got a lot on Punk. Is at points where it's like, I don't know how to describe the style. It's like, it's like if Big E, Lashley, and Henry all had like a fucking mysterious love child named Hobbs, and that's pretty much what you get. He's very explosive and also very, very strong.
I love Hobbs, bro. I was waiting for the day where they finally decided to pull the trigger on him, and when they did, it worked out so well.
So basically, this match is Punk. He's got the experience, obviously, on Hobbs. Hobbs is obviously a lot younger, a lot more explosive, and every time he hits Punk, Punk has to battle his way up. There's at one point where he just smashes right over Punk. Like, he just like he just runs at him with his whole. He just body checks Punk at one point, and he does like a fucking. I don't know what it's called, but Henry did the thing where he goes like he has the opponent on the middle rope, and then he just slides his back across. That's kind of what Hobbs did to Punk. His snarl is also very fucking good and money as well. They need to get that shit like on a shirt or something because I think that would sell. Punk got to do. I think Punk's now starting to get more into it or more into his routine because he's hitting his comeback spot. He hit the fucking Macho Man spot as well.
He at one point when he put him on the top rope. And he went for like the Hurricane Rana that got countered into the really nasty Hurricane Rana. I thought Hobbs landed on his neck. I thought for 2 seconds he was about to do the Pepsi plunge, but he didn't.
He's not gonna do it.
But he didn't.
He's 42. He's gotta think about his knees here, people.
Look at Sting!
Fucking if Triple H is now can barely move because of him doing that fucking thing normally, what makes you think that Punk's going to test fate by doing a
Triple H has fucked up knees.
Exactly.
Punk doesn't. I'm just saying, I thought Pepsi Plunge was about to happen. I thought, like, if you're going to do it anywhere.
I was just saying, fam, Pepsi Plunge is a great way to end this whole run very quickly.
But, yeah, Punk just does the 2K comeback.
Comeback. No!
Will you stop?
Oh, I mean, Jericho does it later on, too.
He does. Punk at one point tries to hit Hobbs with the GTS, but Hobbs counters it into a sick-ass spinebuster. That was great.
He's so good for how, like, young he is.
Yeah, he really is.
And again, like I said last week, even going into this week and then watching it live, going from, like, Darby Allin to Hobbs is such a fucking big rub for Hobbs.
So end of the match, Punk was picking up Hobbs for something. Hook fucking distracts Punk or something. Hobbs just immediately just blasts right through fucking Hook, sends him to the outside.
Hook looking like Simon Dean tonight.
Punk puts Hobbs up on his shoulders. GTS Punk officially gets through one member of Team Taz.
It was a hell of a match. I was very blown away by how much Punk gave Hobbs, how much time this got, and how well they actually worked together.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it. Loved it.
Punk has just proven 7 years, it doesn't matter.
Nope.
And he's back in trunks.
Most important part. Apparently to Twitter, that was the most important part.
Oh, that was the first thing I noticed. He comes out. I'm like, oh my god, leg!
See you, Trunks!
He's got legs!
I like how everybody's biggest complaint was the fact that he was wearing tight.
Because tights prove that you are past your prime.
Yeah.
And Punk was like,
then what's Kenny then?
Well, he's always been wearing. Well, not always. Not always.
Okay,
that's true.
I was about to say.
His are fancy.
His are very fancy.
Yes, fancy though.
He's got like a fucking Terminator on all of his trunks. It's great.
Also, he didn't leave.
There is a reason why he left you in sensitive color.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. All right.
There were no ice cream bars. I was cheering for Hobbs.
I would assume that after this, like Hook has to be the next one.
Listen, I said it.
Oh my god!
Listen, no, go ahead. You
Can
first.
I gush about how Hook is getting the best fucking teaching of all time? Like, he is literally learning, watching some of the best wrestlers.
Yeah.
Hook
Like-
is amazing.
And not only is he with his dad, he's being mentored by Ricky Starks. He's learning from watching Hobbs. His dad's teaching him some shit. As much as we like to mock about, as much as we want to talk shit about Brian Cage is probably teaching him a few things.
And Cody.
And he's slowly building himself up, putting his reps in, his training in, and when he finally gets that debut match,
oh, it's gonna be, dude, it's gonna be.
He hasn't stepped. Go ahead. Sorry.
He's gonna be a goddamn monster.
Yeah.
He hasn't stepped in the ring yet, and he's involved in a program with CM Punk. He hasn't stepped in the ring yet.
He hasn't said more than 5 words.
You have to understand, and I'm still going to stand by it. You know, Tony Khan and CM Punk got on the, you know, they were talking, and Tony Khan said, "Hey, listen, I got this kid. His name is Hook," and that's what this entire 2 years has been building to.
Oh.
It's all to put Hook over at the end.
I don't think Hook's going over, but I know that Hook's gonna get. I know that Hook's first match is going to be a legitimate, wet dream for any guy that breaks in. Like, God, I wish I could have a match like that. You know,
right? But yeah, good stuff. Very interested to see where all this leads to. But after this, we get a quick promo, a quick video package between Jade Cargill, Thunder Rosa, and Nyla Rose. Jade pretty much going on about how Nyla screwed her back at All Out. Nyla pretty much saying she'll take on both of these women, and so will Thunder Rosa. So I'm guessing this is leading to a triple threat match between Jade, Rosa, and Nyla at some point. And
I didn't see any of this.
You didn't?
No, they didn't play this first.
Okay, so this must.
This must be like after the fact.
Yeah. But
that sounds like a pretty sweet triple threat.
Yeah, obviously.
If that's like, if you're putting what they have that Saturday special in 2 weeks, right?
I think so.
Put that on there, and the winner goes on to fight Britt at Full Gear.
Yeah.
I'd say Thunder Rosa goes over, and then from that you split off a Jade and Nyla feud.
Yeah. Win-win for everybody here. But after that, we go straight into the Super Click return officially here, taking on the team of Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus against Christian Cage.
I have a lot to say.
I bet you do.
But we'll talk about Adam Cole first, because Jesus Christ.
So the Young Bucks first come out, and they are being
great reaction. I'm not surprised.
Super Kick Party.
Yeah, it was really fun to hear that again, because you know I like the Elite song is fine, but I never jived with it as a theme song.
It doesn't hit the same as their other themes. I get it.
But like that Super Kick Party goes off, and the crowd just no, and then you get the don't no.
So they're being accompanied by Brandon Cutler.
Oh no! Oh God! No, Carl Iverson is not there.
Oh wait, no,
Carl Iverson's not there.
Carl's not there. Oh yeah, you're right.
No, it's fucking goddamn
Brandon Cutler and the 3-time IWGP Tag Team Champion, 2-time Impact Tag Team Champion, the Big LG Super fucking dangly Doc Gallows.
I was
wait, or is he also known as the Caucasian King of Africa? Super Festus?
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when you open your mouth and say shit on Twitter when you should have just let it go.
Yeah.
Right.
No, no.
Read the room, bro. Right place, right time to say stuff.
First, I gotta see. First, I gotta see the gun club.
It's like, okay, I'll keep it 100. I don't disagree with them, but read the room. Not the right time to say stuff like that. Just saying.
Yeah.
First, I gotta see the goddamn gun club.
But
then I had to see Doc Gallows.
Well, if it makes you.
Don't you dare disrespect the Caucasian king of Africa, okay?
And then Doc Gallows. Then Doc Gallows gets involved.
Yeah, it was the best part of this match. Probably leading to a fucking Luchasaurus Doc Gallows match, and then what?
That'd be amazing. What are you talking about? You know what? It's fine. It's fine, Adam. We all can't have good taste. I mean, you are an Alexa Bliss fan, so
I am. Wow.
I love it when there's someone on this broadcast that's on my side for once.
Wow.
Look, bro.
My integrity.
Oh, don't worry. You can copy your integrity for somebody else, just like how she copied Bray Wyatt's gimmick. What?
Hey, it's a tribute. That's not what we're here to talk about.
All right, yeah. So okay.
Adam Cole. Where's Adam Cole?
Adam Cole comes out. He gets
holy shit
monster reaction. Jesus.
You know it's all about the boom. Hey, the fans finally got it. We finally got it right.
Yeah,
we did it
on Twitter. Mentioned that we
finally got it right.
They found the spot in which they can do the boom, and someone also pointed out that they must have edited that in so that he could have that spot for the boom to come in, because on the original track, it's not there. It's not there. Yeah, it's not there at all. So obviously they were like, we gotta come up with something so we can get the boom in there. They could do the boom and then
we see to get the crash and the bash and the boom.
So he gets on the apron, big boom.
Boom! And it's not just for that. It's anytime the song even says boom.
Yeah,
it's anytime.
The crowd goes boom. You know it's all about
we love the boom, man.
Yeah.
And then of course Adam Cole, baby, and holy shit, that's again
loudest Adam Cole, baby I've ever heard.
And you got to understand, we're people have been sitting in these chairs. We're almost 4 hours in. And this crowd is still hot. But then the real beauty. Well, hold on. Christian comes out. Yay, Christian! And then the best thing about my entire experience, I finally got to see my Dino Daddy live, and it was beautiful. I cried. I was very. You could see the reaction on the vlog. I was very moved, and I got to do the part, which is also very fun, and so was everybody else. Again, this licensed music thing. There's obviously something to it. People just love singing songs that they know that they can sing along to, that have lyrics and that they've heard. Because goddamn, are these guys over? They're so fucking over. This whole match is over. Every single one of these people.
This match was fun as shit too. They did a bunch of shit.
Yeah, this match was really fucking fun. I'm just
gonna say this. I'm gonna say it once, and I say it again when Cole came back to them. It's the return of Mount Rushmore 4.0, and I fucking am in for this.
Hey, in a few months, we could get the whole fucking kit and caboodle.
Oh God, that's if Steen does sign. That's if he does sign.
No, he's fucking signing. He's signing.
If he does, then yes, you can say, "Oh my God!"
You see the shit that they did with him on SmackDown?
Riddick Moss.
Kill Steen kill.
Yeah,
everybody,
kill
Steen kill.
That's happening. All his friends are having fun.
I want to have fun.
Him and fucking Sammy are like, we want to have fun too.
So, by the way it looks, Mount Rushmore is gonna come back.
We're gonna have a giant, fucking, huge elite stable, and like, who's gonna stop it? CM Punk and Bryan, probably. which is just crazy to think. Like, what the hell is happening?
This shit's
And-
nuts.
And this match was crazy fun. Like, great. Like, this felt like a PWG match.
Yeah.
This was so PWG. High spots, comedy spots, the return of the double kiss,
Yeah.
which is straight out of fucking the 5-star match they had with Ospreay and Ricochet and Seidel.
Yes. Which I just watched courtesy of Deadlock. Shouts out to
Yes.
the hot diapers.
But, like, holy shit, what a fun match.
Yeah, it was great.
I'm also gonna keep it 100 with you guys. I low-key don't think they need to sign any more people.
I don't think so either. But
They don't, but, like...
obviously, if Kevin Steen says, like, hey, can you guys get me the... Like, obviously, like, you have to.
Do you have to, though? On the real, do we really?
Listen, when people bring up the whole, like, they don't need to be signing people. Well, yes, they don't. But I think the whole, like, their aspect of, like, the rotating cycles of talent really does help that argument because everybody is getting a chance one week or another.
Yeah.
And nobody's getting lost in a big shuffle.
Which, and it's fun, and I'll give you that because you'll notice like some of the real big names, they'll be gone like for a month or a week because they're doing shows somewhere else. And when they do come back, it's like, this big thing. But like, I guess I'm in that camp of it'd be cool as hell to see Mount Rushmore come back to play that up. But at the same time, I'm like, you just signed Cole and Danielson, which already just blew everybody away. Do we need to add more on this?
I mean, again, it's all a matter of if they have a plan for it. I say, why not? Let's see how it goes. Obviously, this is like with every wrestling company. Some people just get lost, and that's inevitable. But you just got to take a chance and see.
Yeah, I understand.
So yeah, match ends. Doc Gallows, gets involved. He distracts Luchasaurus. Fucking Luchasaurus gets fucking Shining Wizard, and then they just fucking destroy Luchasaurus here because he gets Shining Wizard, then he gets Panama Sunrise, then he gets fucking BTE triggered, and then he gets the fucking boom. Which they decide to call the boom now, and 1, 2, 3, the Super Click wins. You're just mad because Luchasaurus had to do the job.
Should have won.
Good stuff.
It was a really good fucking match.
Yeah.
Super kicks everywhere. High spots, comedy spots. Like I said, full on PWG mode. Christian hit a fucking spear on the walkway.
Yeah, this match was great.
They throw Christian off the goddamn ring, the walkway too, which I'm like, Jesus, Christian's just taking bumps now, through tables and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Luchasaurus looked awesome. He does a choke slam onto Matt with Adam Cole, which was really sick.
That looked painful.
And then he lost.
Yeah, he did.
And I was sad. But I've pre-ordered his Wrestling Buddy, which you can get right now on ringsidecollectibles.com, along with Kenny Omega, or a Hangman, or I think a Cody Rhodes. No, Darby and Cody Rhodes.
Well,
get a Wrestling Buddy.
Yeah, do that. After this, though, we got Inner Circle, Hager, and Jericho taking on Men of the Year. Men of the Year come out to quite possibly the smallest reaction out of anybody tonight.
Yeah,
I said it once, I'll say it again. That shit was sad because they deserve so much more, but I guess that's what happens when you stick yourself with America's top team.
Yeah. Well, America's top team, fucking just immediately.
Well, we'll talk about that.
Well, yeah, okay. So
Yeah, we'll totally talk about that.
Because this match was, the entire time I'm watching it, I'm like, all right, this is a cool rub for Scorpio and Ethan, Jericho, and all that. And Jericho's doing Jericho stuff, and Hager's there. And Ethan and Scorpio are just bumping their asses off. And I'm thinking to myself, like, they have to get the win here. Now, luckily, they do get the win, even though it's by outside interference because of Lambert.
Dan Lambert had to cause the distraction where fucking Hager tripped and then Scorpio caught him with the small package.
I'm like, cool, great. They got the victory. This is what they need.
No.
And that gets completely overshadowed.
It gets overshadowed like a mother because of because the moment they win, here comes Dos Santos, here comes Orlovsky, here comes Jorge, here comes Van Zant, here they all fucking come, and I'm like, God.
So
now I thought, like, okay, yeah, this is the full inner circle's about to show back up. I assume that's probably what this is going to lead to, maybe. But like, no, they just got their ass beat.
Yeah,
Jake Hager gets take down by some guy.
Well, Sammy has
it was Dos Santos. He got fucking slammed by Dos Santos, and Arlovsky and Dos Santos were like beat the shit out of him. Van Zant,
Paige fucking just lays in.
Yeah, so here's the two big highlights of this match, which is so damn sad. So they pick him up. I think Arlovsky picks him up. Van Zant starts peppering him with fucking body punches. Grabs him by the hair. Jorge's staring him down. And Jorge delivers his infamous fucking high knee that he knocked so many people out with. Like legit flash KO'd people. And lays him out. And everybody's like, oh, that's the highlight.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting there watching this going, oh yeah, Scorpio and Ethan are here.
Yeah.
What?
I love Scorpion and Ethan, honestly. I do. And this, I mean, in the end, I bet it worked out for them, because they got something. They got recognized in footages and clips, but here's the thing. Jorge Masvidal's not going to get into a fucking wrestling ring. Unless the money's right. And even then, he ain't going to get in that wrestling ring. Dos Santos ain't going to get in that wrestling ring. Arlovsky's not going to get into that wrestling ring. Van Zant damn sure ain't going to get into that wrestling ring.
She almost signed with the WWE
almost,
that way.
But keyword, almost.
Yeah.
But I don't expect Jorge I don't expect Jorge to be in a wrestling ring. The man's still has a UFC career. Yes, he may have lost the belt but he's still one of the hottest fucking fighters in his division right now. Why would he sign to AEW right now? Why would he have a match with Chris Jericho?
He's going to take the walls, baby. You're going to put him in the wall.
This was a feud.
I don't see this. And it just bugs me because it kind of bugs me. On one hand, it makes me go, oh, that's pretty neat. Jericho's giving Jorge all this. But at the same time, I'm like, Jorge ain't going to be in no fucking match.
He's going to be put in the walls.
It's interesting because this whole thing started out with Archer. And somehow it ended up being about Jorge and Chris Jericho.
No,
what happened?
Simple. When they had that Ambrose Suzuki match, they realized, oh fuck, we can do a Suzuki Gun reunion for one night.
At first, it was the Suzuki incident. They kind of needed someone. I guess they wanted Archer to come out and help with the whole thing because you can have someone take the pin in their matches, and so Suzuki doesn't look like a chump for 2 weeks in a row. So it's like, hey, let's put him with Archer again, and he can take the pin because that's Archer. But
also, I just want to point out somebody said Brian Cage should be with American Top Team instead of Man of the Year. Just
at this point, sure, whatever. I don't care.
Much better fit.
The reaction was good. I just don't know where this goes.
with America's Top Team and Jericho and Hager?
Any of it.
Lambert and Jorge are taking a double Boston Crab. That's where this is going, baby.
Bruh, you know good and damn well that ain't gonna happen. Lambert might take it. You know Jorge ain't gonna take it.
Where's
If he
King
does,
Mo?
prize, but real talk, I don't.
We're gonna get a
They gotta-
female. We're gonna get a female member.
I'm sorry. This leads into a whole other thing that's kind of an annoyance of mine that I don't. We're not gonna go into that.
We're gonna
just
get our first ever member of the female member of the Inner Circle. Take out Paige.
If Paige Van Zandt actually is gonna sign,
That'd be dope.
If I'm doing a one-off, you know, I think Paige and Layla would be sick.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm gonna be. It would be like I'll be real because I've heard those rumors that Paige Van Zandt thought about signing, and I think she would. I think she could, and she'll be like legitimately like the third MMA fighter turned pro wrestler that is successful, and it could work out for her.
Yeah.
I just don't. It's just everybody else. I'm kind of like, like, not to say I don't think they would work. It's just, is it necessary? Like, I get they did that because Tony Toley did that to get more eyes on AEW. And what's more eyes than having Jorge come out and obliterate Jericho's face with his knee, with his flying knee? That makes sense. Play that up as much as you can. But do I see that as a match between Jorge and Chris Jericho? Hell no. I don't see that happening. Because some dudes, you know.
Well, we're gonna again this whole situation. We're just gonna have to wait and see on the matter. But let's see. After that, we get HFO, the Hardy Family Office of the Butcher and the Blade, and fucking Private Party taking.
Oh my fucking god! Is that motherfucking Private Party?
And Santana, Ortiz, and the Lucha Bros.
This was a fun match.
I thought this was as fun as the Super Click match. The only thing was that this went shorter, but that's fine.
Yeah, well, I expected this not to be as long, but for what it was, I thought, like, you know, everybody got to showcase something. This was very entertaining. The crowd were into it. Fucking Santana and Ortiz massively over here in New York.
Monster reaction once again, and I was so happy. They were so well deserved.
Dressed up as the Warriors.
Lucha Bros. I'm sad that fucking Penta doesn't dress up as the Joker anymore.
No, he wasn't the Joker, thank God.
Fucking, I wish he could come back as the Joker.
It's like your favorite one, huh?
It's so good because it's like Phoenix is already like always coming out in like normal fucking gear, but all the time. But fucking Penta insists on dressing up as the Joker all the goddamn time. He's like Red Phoenix is like, Penta, for the love of God, can we just match once, please? Like, I'm gonna beat that Joker, baby. Oh, it's so good. But yeah, this match was had a lot of high spots. The synchronized dives with the moonsaults and then the topes was fucking dope as all hell. Yeah, there's like a lot of cool shit in this match. It was kind of just all over the place. Orange Cassidy comes out at one point to try to settle his beef with Matt Hardy, and he lays out Jack Evans in the process. The finish of this match as well saw one of the members, I think it was it Quinn or Cassidy that just got absolutely fucked here, because one of them takes like a fucking assisted fear factor, and in that they get swept up right into the street sweeper from Santana and Ortiz for the victory. Good stuff, really good stuff. I really enjoyed this fun match for a short.
Orange Cassidy shows up halfway through.
I said that.
because he's having that hair versus hair match.
Yeah. Oh, that goes right into it because like we're backstage. Hardy is obviously livid that Orange Cassidy got himself involved, and so he's now. This is it. This is the breaking for Matt because on Dynamite next week,
Rampage
next week, it will be Orange Cassidy against Jack Evans in a hair versus hair match.
You know, I said for weeks, I was like, are we about to see a bald Matt Hardy? No.
We're going to see a bald Jack Evans, baby!
It's ROH all over again.
It's ROH all over again. Jesus.
We got to bring back Do-Rag Jack Evans.
Yes!
Bring back the Prince of Parkland.
Oh, man. This was funny. After
to be honest, man, I'm happy to see Jack Evans get some attention on a huge stage. He deserves it.
Yeah. But after this, we get Fuego and Sammy coming out.
And Fuego dies.
Sammy's doing his fucking
per the course.
Sammy and Fuego are doing their fucking card like gimmick and reading shit off of it, and then like
but Miro from behind.
Miro's not having any of this garbage. He takes Sammy, he pushes him out of the way, he sends him spiraling off of the stage. And
my favorite part about this wasn't even him getting thrown off. It was watching him get thrown off, and while also watching that, I look at the announce table, and all I see is fucking Ricky Starks going nuts.
Oh yeah,
he's like shaking his arms and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck is Ricky doing? Oh god damn it, Fuego's dead.
Talk about Taz and Ricky being the greatest announce team of all time, because Ricky is all like, Ricky's all belligerent and shit like that. And he's like, I don't like this dude. He's like, and Taz's like, all right, Ricky, calm down. It's so fucking good. And they're like all over Excalibur too. They're just giving Excalibur just an unnecessarily hard time. It's so great.
Was it just the three of them?
It was just the three of them.
Oh Jesus!
It was Starks, Taz, and Excalibur. Jim.
It was dark commentary on Rampage.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, wow, so Mark Henry's not there, and Jericho obviously wrestled.
Ross isn't there.
Yeah, all right.
Shivani wasn't there. I was like, huh, okay.
I know that Ricky is permanent now, or if I don't know if that was
he's
right or
replaced Mark on the commentary desk. Mark, I guess, is just doing the interview thing.
Good for Ricky. Again, I like what AW does. Everybody gets to do something different.
Yeah.
Wait, Ricky Starks is now a permanent member of the commentary team on
Rampage. Yes.
Rampage. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, considering they're not really. Is he injured?
I don't think he's injured. I
think a lot has to do with the whole Brian Cage thing kind of getting put on ice.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
But Sammy gets tossed.
But yeah, that was fun. And Sammy gets put into the game over.
He takes Fuego. Puts him off the ramp through a table. And Fuego dies again. And then Sammy dies because he gets put in the game over. And yeah, that's our build for next week. Because
this week.
Well, whatever. We'll save that because we got one more match to go over here before we get to our main event.
Whatever.
Jay versus Penelope Ford happened.
I didn't care.
They didn't do much.
This was like I said, this crowd for like about for 4 or 5 good hours we're into everything. Almost.
Except this.
Because this was the one time, this was the part in the show where finally the crowd were like, we can relax for a few. And again, that's nothing to take away from Anna Jay or Penelope, but this feud sucks. It sucks. And this match was whatever.
Yeah,
I'll be honest, I can't remember anything from this match besides the ending.
I'm gonna be real with you. I remember somebody told me about this match, and he's like, you know a match is bad when I'm watching it and I'm like, Okay, so when's the Joey Janela run in?
Oh my god. Well, there was
I
no.
would have much rather have seen Joey Janela.
Well, you didn't see Joey. We got the bunny instead. She distracts Anna, and
Yeah, sure.
I think hits her with the brass knucks again.
Like this has been like how many times now has a match with this exact same combo?
Yeah. She gets the victory, the pin. They beat up Anna Jay. Ty comes out. She tries to save him, and she gets beaten down as well. Penelope and the bunny stand tall, and apparently there's gonna be a rematch. I think.
Yeah. It's a tag match, but we'll get to that.
Well, no.
But before that,
yeah, we're there.
Well, we're not there yet.
What do you mean?
Because during this, the Hardy family office are blocking the ring, and then Orange Cassidy's music plays.
Oh yeah,
and
that's right. I forgot.
He comes out with Chris Statlander, and then the Dark Order's music play, and it's the John Silver portion, which it's him, Reynolds, 10 and 5, and then all of a sudden Stu Grayson and Uno and Colt Cabana. Oh my God, Colt Cabana! And I mark because Colt Cabana, and they're on. The Dark Order's back. Everything's good. We're here. They did it. They're here to save they're here to save the sisters of the Dark Order, and everything is looking good. And Reynolds offers the handshake to Uno to be like, let's put bygones be bygones and put this all behind us. And evil Uno walks away. He's not ready. And Stu Grayson follows saying, I don't know. And then poor fucking Colt Cabana in the middle of it all doesn't know where to go. And I just kept.
Okay, can I just point out something?
What?
I hate that it's literally just a recreation of the Bullet Club angle with Cody and everybody back then. But at the same time, it kind of works.
Yeah. Uno is just...
I was so sad.
Uno doesn't know what to do. Hangman needs to fucking get his ass in gear!
And the sisters, they don't, and Ty and Anna, they don't know what to do. You know, they're getting fed up with it all. And I know it wasn't on TV because they probably went to break, but I had to watch poor Colt Cabana walk up that rampway as he didn't know what to do. And I yelled, Colt, you could do it. You could save it. I was very sad for Colt Cabana.
You know, with all that being said, all I'm thinking about is Second City Saints reunion.
We're gonna have to wait and see because we don't know the update on that whole relationship at the moment. But Adam, now it is your time. What are we going to see in the next few days?
Well, I know Rampage, all we know right now is that hair versus hair match. I assume more will be announced
Anna versus
on
Penelope
Dynamite. No, that's on Dynamite.
That's on Rampage.
No, it's on Dynamite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Dynamite this week. You will be seeing the tag team match of Ty Conti and Anna Jay taking on Penelope Ford and the Bunny. So hopefully this is the end. I hope it's the end.
Oh, Adam. You naive fool.
We're going to see a very interesting tag match as Dante Martin and Matt Sydal will take on Cody Rhodes and Lee Johnson.
Now, why would they put Cody Rhodes in a tag match with two of probably some of the most popular baby faces in the company right now?
I wonder why. You know what I'm just thinking though? I'm just waiting for Dante's brother to be medically cleared.
We're all waiting for Top Flight to make their official return.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Top Flight to make their official return, man.
Because they got signed during the pandemic, and with the crowds, man, like that team would go.
So I'm saying this right. I'm predicting it. When Dante's partner gets fully recovers, that's your next contenders for the tag titles right there.
I don't think it's a fucking question.
That's not even a question.
But yes, the rest of the card, Adam.
We also are going to see what I think is going to be the match of the whole show. Jungle Boy and Adam Cole.
Oh yeah.
Goddamn.
Oh god.
That match is going to.
That's gonna blow away. That's gonna be like in terms of my favorite Adam Cole matches. That's probably going to be up there with Adam Cole and Ricochet.
That match is going to hit so hard.
Oh,
And
dear God.
And then what I'm going to assume is going to be the main event of the evening. Sammy Guevara will challenge Miro for the AEW TNT Championship.
And I'm saying it now, Miro's going over.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't think it's time for him to drop the belt.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid Dynamite card. They're not slowing down. They are not slowing down.
And God knows they'll probably announce something on like Elevation. I don't know. They always add something or other. It'll probably be a promo.
But enough about Elevation. We'll save that for Monday. It is now
main event time.
Main event. It is Kingston and Moxley taking on Suzuki Gun, Archer, and Minoru Suzuki in a lights out, non-sanctioned street fight. This match was insane. It went
I don't even know where to start.
Everywhere.
It literally started everywhere. This match was
Moxley and Suzuki literally started this match with a lightsaber duel with chairs on the top of the ramp.
Got it. The Kaza NRA went perfectly.
Yeah.
Even though Zahaya,
I saw the video. I couldn't fucking believe you.
I didn't notice. I apparently cut it off.
Right when it was about to do the Kaze NRA.
Well, I had to scream Kaze NRA.
Oh my god.
They look great. Moxley comes out, great reaction. But honestly, the best reaction was Eddie Kingston.
Yeah.
These people were so hyped and ready to see Eddie on a big platform like this. And then these four just killed it.
Fucking killed each other. Like I said, lightsaber duel. Fucking Kingston and Archer battle out on the outside for a while. Kingston gets fucking like Sparta kicked into a table by Suzuki at one point.
Like what the fuck?
That was fucking great.
That was amazing.
At one point, they have fucking Moxley fucking duct taped. Not handcuffed. They had his hands duct taped.
They hung him. They ended up hanging Moxley, and I'm like, Jesus.
This shit was so great. They just beat the shit out of Moxley. Kingston tries to make the save, but they just take him out immediately. But Kingston, like, I think it was the third try. He finally gets in. He starts making the save. It goes after Archer. He starts going in with some chops. He got Kobashi style chops. Fucking Kingston's getting his All Japan on it, and he's just going in. Him and Suzuki have a fucking chop battle in the middle of the ring, which was fucking great. So Kingston gets taken out by Archer, and at this point, Archer and Suzuki are setting up chairs. And
God!
Archer is about to fucking blackout. Kingston
and then fucking
gunshot.
Homicide. I lost my fucking mind.
Low key. At that point, my mind shut off.
I was like,
everything shut off. I heard white noise and ringing in my ears. I didn't know what the fuck I was watching at this point, because the moment I saw Homicide, I was like, God.
I don't even know. Like, I missed him even hitting like the initial chair shots because I was just jumping. I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck is happening right now? Homicide, is he hot? What? And like, in the back of my head during the entire show, like before the match happened, there's that like little piece was like, Suzuki's Homicide like in 2 days, and he's here. I'm like, maybe. And like, not one point was I like, yeah, no, that's just me trying to be a fan. And then it actually fucking happens.
Mind you, this main event happened, I believe, 20 minutes after The GCW minute.
Yeah, in actual like how it was aired and everything. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Because me seeing it live. This is on a Wednesday. Rampage hasn't even come out yet.
Right.
There was like I wanted to say something so badly on Twitter. Luckily other people did it instead, so I didn't feel bad. But like just be having to for days be like I can't say anything because I don't want to like the Homicide just showed up in AEW, and if you know the history with him and Kingston, like that's even bigger.
Because Kingston credits Homicide for saving his life at one point.
Fucking just Jesus Christ.
It is such a fucking moment. Fucking Homicide.
Homicide got Homicide chance, and I was like, this is the coolest fucking thing ever.
Homicide takes it to both Suzuki and Archer. Fucking Kingston then proceeds to put a trash can over Archer, grabs a fucking kendo stick, and just goes to fucking town.
He doesn't stop.
He does not stop.
He like lightens up, and I'm thinking like, all right, he's gonna hurricane or something, right? Nope, just keep bang. He starts breaking the kendo stick and then continues to hit it with the broken kendo stick. This man's a fucking maniac.
And people wonder why I love Eddie Kingston.
Absolutely the best.
He takes Archer out of the broken mess of the trash can, pins him for the victory, and we end off the show with Moxley, Kingston, and fucking Homicide standing tall. This was insane.
This was awesome. Awesome.
So the question is Homicide
they have
a one-off?
They have his theme. There's an official AEW theme for Homicide, which makes me think this is not the last time we're going to be seeing Homicide.
This is also technically the first ROH person to show up in AEW now.
He's not signed to ROH.
Is he not signed? He was just tag champion.
No, none of the Violence Unlimited guys are.
They're not signed?
No, Violence Unlimited only came in. Violence Unlimited only came in for like a deal. They're not legitimately signed.
The only person in Violence and Unlimited who is signed is Brody, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought they would have signed Tony Deppen.
Everybody says
Deppen, Dickerson, and Homicide are not signed.
I know why Dickinson isn't signed because he's still got the New Japan deal. They should definitely sign Tony Deppen, though. Homicide, I don't think he's ever signing to anything ever again.
But clearly, I mean, we're going to see something Homicide related.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Where are we getting? Are we getting Homicide and Archer? What the fuck?
Dude, that'd be nuts.
Does Homicide and Eddie say, fuck it, let's just fight each other? I don't know. I have no words. Homicide shows up. I'm like, again, at this point, 5 hours. People have been here. We've been here for 5 hours. And that just woke everybody up again for a second fucking burst. And sadly, it was the end of the show, but it was like, what the fuck? Homicide just showed up. What?
Yeah.
Everybody left with a smile on their face. And then Eddie, you probably have seen the promo now, pretty much declaring AEW is New York country now.
Yep.
Which after that, I could see.
Gave everybody the warm, like, thank you for coming out and goodbye. Can't wait to see you next time, which they will. Not Queens, but Long Island in December, which I'm getting tickets for. So we'll have another situation in that end, and they put on Frank Sinatra, and the crowd left happy.
Good shit. Real good shit.
It is the best wrestling experience I've ever had. Better than a WrestleMania, and I've been to 2 Manias. Better than going to any of the independent shows I've been to. This was, bar none, the best wrestling show I've ever seen. Both shows combined, the atmosphere, not the stuff involving the arena, that was bad. But everything AEW wise, there'll never be anything that can replicate this.
Yeah, good shit, AEW. Well, I guess that's gonna do it for our AEW Dynamite review. I guess we'll go over some quick news. There's not really much this week in terms of news that was very big. So I guess we'll just go over what the fuck is going on. I think it has been officially confirmed WrestleMania will be 2 nights again. It's just a matter of what the 2 nights are going to consist of, because there have been rumblings that it might just be 1 night of an actual WrestleMania, and then they do a Raw in the same stadium, and that would be like WrestleMania Part 2. But it could be just 2 nights, and then doing Raw in another arena. We don't know at this point, but I think it's more than confirmed that WrestleMania is going to be 2 nights. No thoughts on this, Adam?
No, not really.
All right. Well,
can we talk about what happened at Extreme Rules?
Fine. What?
So 2 highlights of the show. On the pre-show, there was Spanish and English commentary at the same time. And then halfway through the actual main show, the French commentary team started playing.
Yeah.
But the big highlight coming out of the show is not that Lily is dead, because she got ripped up. It's the ending of the Roman Reigns and Finn Balor match.
All right, so you gotta tell me what the fuck is going on here, because I'm just seeing gifs of shit.
So, Finn Balor, at the tail end of this match, we are recording this right after that show went off the air. Finn Balor at the end of this match, there was a heartbeat and the lights went red, and Finn Balor started to hump the floor. Essentially, his body was being brought back to life. Yes, they went full on Bray Wyatt with this shit.
Yeah.
The fuck? What?
Yeah, so the heartbeat would go off, and his body would, like, if you were doing, like, the chest compressors. And then he popped back up, and he was back alive, and the demon was taking over the body. And the lights were red. And just like the Fiend, the lights were red. And he took a chair, and he started wailing away on Roman Reigns. And he went all bleh. And then he goes to the top rope. And the top rope just breaks. And Finn Balor goes and crashes, boom, and then Roman pins, and that was the end of the show.
That was the finish!
What? What? Wait.
I don't know him. I don't...
So
What?
the question, yes. So Finn Balor goes, Roman is dead in the ring. Finn's going to go to the top to hit the coup de grace. We're about to see a new champion. Top rope breaks, Finn crash, go boom. Roman cover, 1, 2, 3. Roman go, huh? All right, cool. And bye. No Brock Lesnar. Big boos from the entire crowd. The crowd was so pissed. Not because Roman won, because of this ending. Twitter is having a field day with this right now. And the big question is, was this a botch? Was this an actual thing that happened? And if it wasn't, this is a terrible fucking angle. And also, cool, we killed the demon.
Fucking God.
I don't have words. I don't have words.
I know this. If this is a botch, then fuck. I hope Finn's okay. If they did this intentionally, every writer needs to be fucking shot.
Also, I swear I thought that Becky and Bianca was a tables match. That was not the case. So this entire show, the main event was the only match that had a stipulation. Yeah. They considered a triple threat and a 6-man tag as stipulations. Oh yeah, also Bobby was supposed to fight Big E. That got turned into a 6-man tag. And now Bobby will fight Big E at the start of Raw tomorrow. Or, well, Monday.
I wonder why.
So.
I wonder why.
I
Somebody's saying He has words.
I can't.
Brett, Jeff,
Yeah,
Damian Priest, and Sheamus had a really good match.
Wait, hold on. Jamal getting it because I literally don't have any fucking thing to say to this.
WWE.
Okay, how do I say this in the quickest of fashion without taking too much time? This is worse than WCW 2000. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna go there.
It literally is.
If you say AEW is worse than this, you need to kill yourself.
I've never seen a company so dead set on ruining not just their talent in general, but their main event talent.
Yeah, Finn Balor was built up pretty damn well going into this show, and that's dead now.
Oh, by the way, Malik, you said Steen was staying, right?
Here's the thing. I don't see him leaving because I don't think he's got wife and kids. He's not gonna start leaving as much. You know what I mean?
But Brody's wife told him to leave. So I mean, you can't even use the wife and kids excuse anymore.
I would think the thing is like he has this, and it was like the thing is like I would think with Steen, like he's gotten to work with WWE. He's been there for like what 5-6 years at this point, and it's like he's done literally everything he can with AEW. If this were any other company, I would say like, you know. It might suck, but, you know, he's got good pay and whatever. AEW is the whole new thing. He could probably get paid just as much as he's getting paid right now and probably get more fucking screen time.
Also, they killed Lily. So
that was the only good decision they had on that show.
That's a terrible decision. They killed Lily.
Only interesting part about Alexa's.
Yeah, gimmick. I mean, it was like, oh, so sad. They killed Lily.
It's very sad.
And in other news,
there were thank you, Lily chants.
God. It's almost like people forget that Alexa Bliss's gimmick came from Bray or something. Okay.
I will say, the match itself was not gimmicky at all, and actually was really good.
You know what? I'm gonna be real with you. I'm surprised they gave Alexa everything after she got fucking buried on the mic by Charlotte.
You sure? Because when I heard that promo, it didn't sound like Charlotte did the turn.
I know. I'm being joking.
Alexa
buried her mostly.
Alexa really dicked her down.
The match itself was actually pretty good, and then Lily died. Besides that, nothing else really mattered on the show. So,
just like Alexa Bliss's whole thing, as she is the female fiend. Okay, I'm just kidding.
To be fair, that wouldn't be the first time Charlotte's been dicked down. I mean, hello, Andrade.
All right, we're getting this shit back on track here. All right, so Extreme Rules, it's as you expected at this point. You're going in, you know it. You know. We don't have to fucking tell you anymore. You fucking know. I'm sick and tired of people acting like they don't know, because they do know. But going away from that, we got some news from Impact. I don't know if I don't know if I mentioned this last episode, but Knockouts Knockdown, apparently an all Knockouts pay-per-view being put together by Impact Wrestling.
We mentioned it.
We did? Because I know we mentioned Bound for Glory, but I wasn't sure if we mentioned
I mentioned that it was happening, and then I mentioned that about Masha.
Alright. Okay, cool. Okay, so...
That's October 9th.
So with that said, Fallen Angel!
Yeah, Christopher Daniels is back. He's the Fallen Angel. This Thursday we'll have his first match back as the Fallen Angel.
Oh my god!
He does not have the Fallen Angel music. He has the Bad Influence music, which was a little upsetting.
Boo!
That was the one disappointing part.
They need to get it back.
But he did come out with like the round glasses, and he didn't really do. He did an STO. He was gonna do the Angels wings, but Madman Fulton got out of it. That match is happening on Impact this Thursday.
It's only a matter of time before we start seeing that gimmick pop back up on AEW television.
If this is leading to Ace Austin and Daniels at Bound for Glory, I'll take that. That match sounds awesome.
Yeah, that sounds great.
But also announced for Bound for Glory, we know now 2 new matches. The Call Your Shot Gauntlet is back. Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers are officially the first 2 entries into it. And also, Deonna Purrazzo will challenge Mickie James with the Knockouts title on the line. That match is going to be great.
Yeah. But that's what you get for Impact.
I'm not gonna lie, low key, I thought Daniels was gonna retire.
I think a lot of people did. I think they kept it pretty much open ended because I don't know if they even knew, but he seems to be back. But I wanted to make mention of NXT 2.0, but nothing really happened this week, so I'm just gonna you guys can watch it yourselves if you want to. And I haven't done this in a while, but in terms of, we got a few news from over the Japan side of wrestling. New Japan just recently added 3 new members to the United Empire faction. The first ones being the first ones were shown back at Rev Pros. I think this was their first show in front of a crowd since the COVID started. But the United Empire would accept 2 new members in the form of Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis of Aussie
Yay,
Open.
Aussie Open. That's
Yeah.
a great shout.
Great get. We know New Japan has been interested. They were very interested in Aussie Open before the whole pandemic thing started. So good, nice to see that there's still some interest. Hopefully, once this whole thing gets situated out, which seems like if news is to be from Japan side is to be believed, they'll probably have something figured out by near the end of this year. So hopefully we can get them on New Japan shows pretty soon. But
My friend Zahaya, we have bigger stuff to mention about the United Empire.
No. No.
Because I do believe during one of the Strong tapings,
Yes.
we have another new member to the United Empire. The United Empire is growing, and it's growing its ego with the addition of TJP.
God! Why? Why?
This man legit does not like TJP.
He's such a prick!
Again, we before we went on, we tried to see if we could find other good members to take TJP's place. Now, while there are a few, there aren't many that fit the United Empire moniker. But yeah, you have a lot of better choices than
Yeah,
TJP.
no fucking shit!
Yay!
I can't. Oh, fucking.
You know, if Joseph Connors wasn't signed to NXT UK, you could have gotten him.
You could say that about half the people in WWE
Yeah, no
NXT UK.
shit. If the NXT UK had
Hey, the
absolutely
best part now,
fucked over.
Zahaya. You see, Zahaya, the best part now is the Great O'Khan is not the worst member of the United Empire anymore.
No, he's not.
Which means that he's the best because he does the bunny hop.
That's not at all. The best is Jeff Cobb.
Okay, first off, that is not a bunny hop. If you know your mythological creatures, He's literally doing the same thing that a Chinese zombie vampire would do, because that's his whole idea.
That does not make this better.
He does.
I don't care.
He do the bunny hop, man. He the bunny hop, man. He's a bunny's a vampire bunny.
He's not a bunny, Adam.
I hate this gimmick so much.
He's a vampire bunny hunter. It's
also cool. To be completely fair, he was the least worst member when Hanare joined the group. So
yeah, well, Hanare's gone because what happened, we don't know. He disappeared.
Apparently, he's still with the faction.
Yeah, but where is he?
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
If that's the answer you want, I don't know. But
now you wanted to mention something about somebody with a red eye.
Oh, Daniels has a red eye. They mentioned the bloodshot eye after his match, and apparently that's
the thing. Oh, okay.
Totally. I remember that now.
Some G1 Climax news real quick. Just to go over the current standings on the last two shows. I don't even remember what fucking nights this is. But on the 24th September, Tanahashi beat Hiroki Goto. Tama Tonga beat Chase Owens. Yoshihashi beat Jeff Cobb beat Yoshihashi. Let's see. Taichi beat Sonata. And in our main event, Kazuchika Okada beat Evil. So now the standings for B Block are as followed. Tanahashi with 2 points. Goto with 0 points. Tama Tonga with 2 points. Chase Owens with 0 points. Yoshihashi with 0 points. Jeff Cobb at a resounding 4 points. Sonata with 2 points. Taichi at 4 points. Okada at 4 points. And Evil with 2 points. So right now, Okada, Taichi, and Cobb leading B Block as the first place. Over on A Block on the 26th, they had another show. And on that show, because Naito is out, all of his matches are forfeit. Therefore, all the other men get their points from the Naito matches that they would have gotten. But as far as G1 matches go, the Great Okan beat Yujiro Takahashi. Toru Yano beat Tonga Loa. Tomohiro Ishii lost to Kenta. And Zack Sabre Jr. Beat Kota Ibushi, which was the biggest thing out of this, because that means Zack Sabre Jr. within the first 3 days of G1 has beaten Shingo Takagi, Tetsuya Naito, and Kota Ibushi. So now,
which means that Zack is gonna have a very interesting role.
Mm-hmm. So now, as it stands, the Great Okan has 8 points. Yujiro Takahashi with 4 points. Yano with 6 points. Tonga Loa with 2 points. Ishii with 2 points. Kenta with 6 points. Ibushi with 4 points. And Zack with 6 points. So as it stands right now, but because of the forfeit,
are you telling me
the Great
Okan
is leading?
Do I have to? I should be watching New Japan.
No,
that's my boy Zaya.
Absolutely not.
It's the bunny hop.
Absolutely no.
I'm not about to have you disrespect another culture, you fucking.
But just and one more bit of quick news, just to mention it because I did watch it. So DDT held their Who's Gonna Top show, and while I didn't watch the whole thing, I did watch
It sounds amazing.
2 main matches on the show, which featured the dissimulation of Damnation. This was Damnation's final match as stable in DDT. They went over one member of the first half of Damnation, which was Daisuke Sasaki, Mad Polly, and Tetsuya Endo, beat the other side of Damnation, which was Nobuhiro Shimatani, Shuji Ishikawa, and Soma Tako with Yuji Hino outside. It was a whole big thing. Very emotional, very funny. Damnation, I know for a fact, has been one of DDT's, probably their most popular stable over in DDT for a while now. So, just a very heartfelt goodbye for Damnation. But also in the main event, we saw Kansuke Takeshita defend his KOD Openweight title against Chris Brooks in a very, very, very fucking good main event match. Like, if anything, you guys should definitely go seek out this match if you can. It's on Wrestle Universe. Just wonderful stuff. Chris Brooks's best match to date. It's fucking phenomenal, and the ending was done very well as well. So go check that out. And with that,
I mean, it's Chris Brooks, so
yeah, he's very fucking good. And with that, that's going to do it from my end. And now we're going to take it over to Adam Jackpot with our Indie Spotlight.
First off, you got my name wrong, but it's okay.
Fuck you! I hate this gimmick!
It's the Indie Spotlight this week with Alexa Cannabis. You gotta get these names right. I do this on purpose,
my friend.
We're not calling
you that. We're not gonna call you that.
It's every week. You gotta get the name right.
And every week, I never remember it. We're
so sad.
2 hours and a half in this show. You think I'm gonna remember this shit?
So sad. So
we'll get it right when you stop copying things like Alexa, like WWE tried to make Alexa Bliss copy things. Anyway,
it's great. Quick disclosure. It's been a lot of wrestling, and I needed to decompress, so I didn't get to watch everything, sadly. But hopefully this week, unlike the vlog, there will be a separate upload. I'm going to try and at least review the GCW Gets Lost a Lot show, because I didn't see it, and I want to see it, and I want to talk about it. So I think we're going to do a separate review for that. It'll be put up here on the channel. Yay, more content. But on that show, from all accounts, the night before, though, they had their emo fight show, which was GCW presents wrestling and a mini concert as well, which was pretty cool. I heard the atmosphere was extremely positive from all accounts. All the wrestlers came out in special band-themed attire and wear. AJ Gray came out to Rollin', which got a huge ovation. Jimmy Lloyd was dressed up as the Black
AJ.
Parade.
My boy AJ Gray. Fun
fucking
fact,
truth.
I'm no lie. I'm gonna try to probably tomorrow or something. I'm gonna try to put in money to get a seminar from him to see if there's any open spots left.
What a person to get trained from. The motherfucking truth.
Yeah, he's got a seminar going on at his at a school in my area.
That's awesome.
So
Jimmy Lloyd came out. He was dressed up as a Black Parade member. Just a lot of people enjoying themselves, having fun with the whole emo themed night as it was. The big story coming out of that, though, was the main event involving Jimmy Lloyd as he took on Jimmy Jacobs. And before the match started, Jimmy Jacobs gave us a live rendition serenade of the Ballad of Lacey.
Yes!
And what happens at the end of the fucking match? Lacey herself returns!
What?
I couldn't fucking believe that.
Lacey returned and helped Jimmy Jacobs get the victory over Jimmy Lloyd, and they reunited, and my heart broke.
Jimmy Lacey! Jimmy loves Lacey! Lacey
They were
loves
back
Jimmy!
For one night. It was amazing. I made sure I went out to rewatch that this moment, and the crowd, it just shows you the testament of these goddamn diehard indie fans. They remember everything, and goddamn did they remember Jimmy and Lacey. So that was the big thing coming out of Emo Fight. The next night was GCW Get Lost a Lot, which was on a Friday. As we mentioned, the fact that the main event linked up with Rampage is, I don't know if they planned it this way, but the synergy that GCW had with the AEW airing was crazy. Minoru Suzuki and Homicide. I heard this match was incredible, which is, I thought originally, like, yeah, this match is going to be sick, but, like, how is this going to be a functioning match? Because it's two, honestly, very different styles, and I heard that they meshed so well together. Tony Deppen and Ishimori, I heard, was really well done. Alex Zane and AR Fox, I've seen some crazy gifts that they did. It's crazy that AR Fox still hasn't, like, broken out really like he should have all those years ago. And Alex Zane back in GCW, back on the indies. The push he's getting, we didn't even mention, he's going to be on Impact this week as well. Yeah. Alex Zane, Laredo Kid, and Trey Miguel. Yeah, and he's got to fight Bandito.
Yeah, ROH World Championship match.
So, like, he fucking left the company, and everybody's using him, which is great. Good for Alex Zane. He deserves it. But the other big thing coming out of the night was Matt Cardona. The Deathmatch King himself came out to the ring to make a big announcement. That announcement was that he was getting invoking his rematch clause, which means that the match in October was going to be Moxley, Nick Gage, and Matt Cardona for the GCW World Title.
Oh my God.
Now, I was very, very excited. But, lo and behold, that bastard Brett Lauderdale, goddamn Brett Lauderdale, came out and told him that, nah, that ain't happening. You have to earn it. And how was he have to earn it? With a match. Not only a match, but a match for his Internet Championship. Yes, the same Internet Championship. And it was accepted by Effie. Because Effie rules. And Effie is fine. And what happened? Effie got a quick roll-up victory in like less than 6 seconds, and Effie is the new Internet Champion.
You also forgot to mention the fact that, like, for weeks he's just been tweeting.
Yeah, they've been going at it on Twitter about who the fuck is Effie, and again, Matt Cardona just knows how to work social media. And so does Effie, obviously. And Effie won the belt! Effie is fine! Bussy is fine! Effie is the new Internet Champion. Brett Lauderdale says, your time is done. You ain't getting no rematch. You're out of here. He pretty much fired Matt Cardona. Matt Cardona on Twitter, just like I'm supporting him, has been screwed yet again by Brett Lauderdale and the damn GCW. And he will get his revenge one way or another. You will damn see it. Matt Cardona is not done. But congratulations to Effie. So that all happened at GCW. Like I said, I'm going to try and watch the whole show, and hopefully we'll get a review up here on the channel of that. But that's everything that really happened this week. Just some upcoming news. This weekend, VXS will be running its next show out of LA. VXS presents Machiavelli. Some of the big matches that are going to be happening this weekend. If you want to watch on Fight TV and IWTV, Alex Zane will be on this card fighting Willie Mack. Jimmy Lloyd is fighting a deathmatch wrestler whose name is Ronald McDonald.
What?
Wait. I know that match. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, that's a thing that's happening.
Okay, so it's not Ronald McDonald, obviously. It's
not. It's
Raka Raka. It's one of the twin brothers.
Oh, it's one of the Raka dudes.
It's Michael.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
So here's the thing. It's already up on their channel.
Wait,
so
what?
Jimmy Lloyd, real talk. Here's the fucking story behind it, because this is a true story. So remember way back then when Raka Raka did these fucking wrestling shows literally for free? Didn't pay a single fucking dime to put these shows together and just packed a fucking arena up? Packed a small little venue? Jimmy saw these matches where Raka literally fucking damn near killed himself in these matches. And he basically said, hey, I want to have a death match with you, right? It was like a lot of talking shit. So Michael literally went to a GCW event to have a death match with Jimmy Lloyd.
I can't.
Well, this is
I'm actually.
this is a rematch.
I'm actually watching.
Oh, it's a rematch.
Yes, this is going to be a rematch in Violence X Suffering. It is going to be a 200 light tubes death match.
Oh my god!
As they will be going at it. Other matches on the card: Chris Bay and JTG will be going at it.
Oh my god! So please, Adam, if there's a way you can order that and have me watch it with you, fucking do that, please.
Yes. And,
I want to see that show just for that alone.
Yeah, like Starboy Charlie and Eli Everfly, JTG and Chris Bay, and the main event will be Rocky Romero and Jordan Oliver.
Ooh, Jordan Oliver?
Yes, Jordan Oliver.
Okay.
Also in 2 weeks, ICW No Holds Barred will present their Deathmatch Circus event. If you're into all kinds of deathmatch and violence, that is going to be your hookup. And also the latest announcement for Bloodsport, Yuya Omura will be involved in the next Bloodsport 7, taking place in a few weeks.
Nice.
Also, Mercedes Martinez has been announced for GCW in Atlantic City in the second week of October.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
So all that and more coming your way in the next few weeks and this weekend. That has been your Indie Spotlight.
Can I just throw out and gush over the fact that Raka or Michael literally said before he loves doing wrestling matches, especially death matches, because he gets happy doing that shit because the adrenaline kicks in. He's like, fuck yes. He's like feeling it. He says, I love doing things that are equivalent to stunts in front of a live crowd, which he's like, I love doing wrestling matches more than I actually do recording shit, because there is no adrenaline, no people there, and it just makes me fucking hate recording more than I actually go out there, do a wrestling match in front of thousands of people, and I can get that high. He is a literal adrenaline junkie, and it's fucking crazy.
Also, as we speak, I know technically you won't be able to see it for like another 8 months, but PWG is currently happening as we speak.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be fun.
I hear AJ Gray is killing it with JT Drake. So,
so AJ Gray won a world title in one of the companies in California. So
yes, West Coast Pro won it last weekend.
Yep. So it's only a matter of time before AJ goes to PWG.
He was in PWG. He had a match against JD Drake about like.
Was he? Oh shit!
Yeah, he made his debut tonight as we're recording this. Yeah.
Apparently,
oh my god, I have to watch that shit.
In like 8 months.
Apparently, yeah, they had a really good match, and they chanted, "Please come back" for AJ. So it's good to see he got over.
So there you go. Yeah, there's your indie spotlight. Of course, more indie stuff to come. That's what we love. Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of things that we might love a little bit less, it's now time to talk about Dark Side of the Ring. Last episode, we talked about the plane ride from hell. That was
something.
Yeah, it was something. And
it was.
All right, at least we got the hard stuff out of the way, right?
No.
No, not really.
This episode was hard in a whole different sense.
Yeah.
I think, because last week was way more of incidents that occurred. This was just another traditional, not in the best sense, but like another just rise and fall of a man's career. Not because of what happened necessarily in the ring, but because of everything that went on behind closed doors and what that did to this one man's psyche, that man being Chris Kanyon. The real talking head pretty much for this entire episode, our narrator being that of the Sinister Minister, James Mitchell himself, who I thought was a delight throughout this entire episode.
He really shined a lot of light on who Chris was, because obviously him and Chris were very, very close during the early WCW days. So he really got to shine a lot of light what Chris's mind and psyche was.
Spot on impression too.
Yeah.
Like crazy good. Other talking heads throughout this episode: Diamond Dallas Page, obviously, the Young Bucks, Brian Cage, Luke Hawx, and Raphael Morphy. Am I saying that? his longtime best friend from living in Sunnyside, who was the live events coordinator for WWE and is the current live events coordinator for AEW, one of the main heads that got them into Arthur Ashe.
Yep.
So this.
This is shit.
So coming into this, a lot of people might be wondering, like, especially if they don't know about Chris Kanyon, it's like, all right, what is with this dude? Why is he like so important that he gets, a full episode to himself? Well, one of the reasons is because a lot of the stuff that you see nowadays can be contributed back to Chris Kanyon. And
I didn't really
Matt and Nick said it best. He was indie before indie was the modern thing. But he did a lot of stuff in the ring that to this day, like Brian Cage and the Bucks were heavily influenced by Kanyon. Every time you see a deadlift superplex from the middle rope, Kanyon did that before anybody else. A lot of the moves that you see Chris Kanyon did, there was a reason why he was called the innovator of offense, because he would just do shit in that ring that no one ever saw before. They
were showing a lot of clips, and he hits a buckshot, and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, he was the first to ever hit the buckshot.
Wow.
He also did an Alabama slam into a sit out.
The sit out, which I thought was like somebody on the Indies did that. And then I was like, holy shit, no, that was Kanyon.
Yeah, we can go for days about all the shit Kanyon has done in that ring that no one has ever done before or has taken influence from.
I got way more respect out of this because, I liked Kanyon, but this just made me on another level be like, wow, we needed a Kanyon.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm gonna say this because I remember watching this. It brought up a lot of unpleasant memories for me because I was probably one of the very few wrestling fans that understood Kanyon's struggles because I knew about some of these stories beforehand. And I also watched that Howard Stern episode. So that also kind of hurt watching a lot of that stuff.
Well,
but
yeah, we'll break it down.
Yeah, we'll break it.
So we pretty much start with his Mortis run and how that all starts.
Well, they mentioned we start off with basically mentioned there's two things that Kanyon was known about. So one is how incredibly influential he was as a wrestler to a lot of today's talents. But the second one happened to be that he was gay. He was closeted. He was a closeted gay man for, I believe, most of his career.
I think he said until 2006, right, is when they publicly went with it in that DDP match that they showed.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he thought if it ever had come out that he was gay, that he would pretty much be blackballed and would be shunned away from the business that he loved so much.
Well, it wasn't just that. It was all of his life, most of his childhood, when he told.
Oh yeah, they talk about when he comes out to his priest.
His priest, and he said, "He's like, I'm gay," and he's like, they never let him feel comfortable about that.
Yeah,
it was like, don't let the sin get to you and all that other garbage.
Yeah. So it kind of molded him into being afraid of being himself, which led to a lot of psychological and mental issues down the line for him.
Mm-hmm. Well, the first story that they go into, I think that's a part of it is the one with James Mitchell and the pornography falling out of the back of his truck.
Yeah.
And it was his cousins that found it.
His cousin who found it.
And he made up this whole story that it's James Mitchell's that freak. He's definitely into that. And he had to call him up and be like, "Hey, listen, here's the story." And Mitchell's like, "Yep." And that was the first time and the first person he ever came out to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in his own way. And Mitchell for years kept that secret, which should show the loyalty of James Mitchell. Honestly,
Mitchell's a great guy. I know I don't hear many bad stories about a James Mitchell, and I think for reasons like this episode, it shows that this man was true to his friends and to the business, and he was there. And like he says, he wishes he could have been there more and understood Chris's like issues. But like you can't know much if you don't know, but he makes that great statement at the end. We'll go over that when we go over it. But I thought he came across so fucking good on this episode.
There was one thing I remember Mitchell said. It was a long while back. He didn't say it in this interview, but it was like an interview he did a long time ago. I think it was 2 months after Kanyon's funeral. He said, I went to the funeral, and the first thing, and he's like, I went there and I was praying to God, which I don't do as much. I was praying that he would just pop out of the casket and say, gotcha. I prayed he was ripping me.
Yeah.
And yeah, that hurt when I heard that the first time. And he didn't say it here, but he did say, like, I wish he was ripping me. But yeah, Mitchell, you could tell Mitchell was hurting every time he had bring up memories. There was happiness there, but at the same time, you could tell it was just hurt.
So,
and yeah.
So, James mentions the fact that Chris used to send him tapes. He showed him stuff, like Chris would show him what he could do, and in the ring, James thought he was like impressive, so he decided, all right, let's find some place for you to actually get trained, and so he brought Kanyon over to I believe it was Moolah's.
And Moolah would only really train women at this point.
Yeah.
And Mitchell told him to just shut the fuck up. Shut up.
Don't say anything.
Don't say anything.
Let me do the talk.
And Moolah like beat the shit out of him.
Well, it was Moolah and fucking
and Mae Young.
Like were impressed by him, but they were like always like beating the crap out of him as well. Like
and he'd be like, "I'm gonna die.
This bitch is crazy.
They're gonna kill me.
Shoot on me.
They're shooting on me. What do I do?
What do I do? Goddamn."
He said it'd be cool. Mitchell just told him to be cool, like calm. Don't sell it. Is what he said.
Don't say. Yeah, well, ain't that the story so far this season?
Yeah, fucking really.
Don't sell it, and that pretty much got him the breakthrough. Mm-hmm. And I think that's when he starts to get seen by the WCW.
Yes.
And of course, he gets the Mortis character, which still to this day I love. I think Mortis is so cool. I love all the weird blood runs cold stuff with Wrath and Glacier and the cat. It's awesome.
Yeah,
but they make it very clear while that shit was over, fucking Hulk Hogan gotta fuck everything up.
So apparently,
it's always Hulk Hogan.
So apparently, they made it seem, and I got this from the Saw Monster earlier, but apparently the timelines got kind of fucked up here, because the Dark Side of the Ring made it seem like, he was doing the Mortis character, like, way before Hogan showed up, and then when Hogan showed up, it was like, alright, that's the end of it.
Well, no, it was when NWO formed.
Yeah.
And then
and he's like, that's the end of that. But apparently that's not.
That's like, here comes reality. Yeah.
But apparently he did, like, the Mortis thing went on for a little bit longer than
it did. But I think what they were trying to convey was like the reality of the realism of wrestling is now slowly creeping its way through more and more. That's what the people want. And people like Glacier and Mortis, who are like now at this point, we're in like upper mid card, are now fucking so in the undercard. Nobody cares about this spooky skeleton dude and the Sub-Zero guy. And it was like, here's your cap, guys. This is it. And it was, yeah. And I know people have made the argument since that was announced, and people like, oh, Kane and The Undertaker and Mankind. But there's a difference. Undertaker, at least, could still like perform as a real person. He was a Satanist, but like Mortis is like a demon.
Yeah.
And Glacier is supposed to be a a ninja that can shoot ice out of his hands. It's like, that shit ain't gonna fly.
Yeah.
Also, Glacier ain't no fucking Undertaker or Kane. Kanyon was great, but that gimmick alone was going to hamper him. But Eric Bischoff comes off as a great person because he knew that Kanyon is somebody I don't want to let go.
Yeah.
They make clear that he was the main head trainer for the Ready to Rumble movie. Like, that's a lot of like faith to put in somebody to make sure that these actors don't get hurt and stuff.
He trained Arquette, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he trained Arquette to take the spots right.
Yeah. Like, Eric Bischoff was not going to let this guy go. He knew what he had in a Chris Kanyon, whether it was on screen or off screen. Chris Kanyon, on the other hand, didn't see it the same way. He thought it was, once again, because of himself. That's a real big part of this, because right when the Mortis character gets dropped, there's this big freak out in a car with Mitchell and Kanyon.
Yeah, so they make it a big thing with Mitchell where he tells, like, Kanyon, while he was a great guy, he was known for just popping off, especially on Mitchell, on occasions. It was so bad, like, one time, like Adam brought up, the car incident, Kanyon's just not having it. He's in an awful mood. He kicks open the passenger's door. He starts kicking out all the lights and the brake lights. He stood on top of the fucking hood of his car. He at one point told him that if I didn't have a lisp, I wouldn't need you. I only keep you around because you know how to do a promo and all that other junk. And Kanyon was just known for being belligerent at times. Because he was just very paranoid at the fact that people were going to find out that he was a gay man.
Yeah, and this wasn't like an isolated incident. Mitchell makes it clear, like, there were many times where he'd freak out, and then he'd be like, "Oh, sorry, Van," and like, "Oh, I didn't mean to," and he would start like crying, and that's when Mitchell pretty much addresses, like, yeah, so Kanyon was probably bipolar. And I assume a lot of that was brought on because of all of this, if my secret gets out type shit. Just probably started to eat him more and more mentally. And they bring up him choking him out to the point where Mitchell blacks out, which is a scary thing in its own right.
Yeah.
And then he wakes up and all he sees is Kanyon like crying in a corner and then realizing what he had done was wrong. And then they bring up the gun situation.
And Mitchell even said it himself, is like, he
would have killed him.
He was prepared to shoot him if he had to. It was only the realization, like, hold on, this guy's my best friend, like, what the hell are we doing? Is what basically stopped him, because if Kanyon went any further than he did, this would be a whole different Dark Side of the Ring episode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it would be.
It would be James Mitchell would be telling his story behind a jail cell glass door.
Yeah. Well, he mentions that he had looked up like legal stuff already about like he had really thought about it.
Like
he was like it was that bad that this was happening consistently that he looked up, like, just in case I do have to sadly do this, is it okay that I did it? And he was pretty damn like straightforward about that on the episode. And this was just kind of a constant. And then, they brush about, him being with the Flock. I was kind of surprised Raven wasn't a part of this.
Yeah, Raven himself went on to say that he was surprised they didn't give him a call because he feels like he could have added some stuff.
Yeah. And then they mentioned positively Kanyon. They mentioned about him being thrown off the triple cage.
Yep.
Which I still think is like crazy that he did that and like got nothing for it.
Yeah, that's what gets me. That was one of the best spots I ever saw, and he got nothing.
No, nothing. Does positively Kanyon, and that's pretty much about it. And then WCW closes.
Yeah,
and then he gets brought into the WWE.
And to be fair,
and what a surprise! What a surprise!
Well, they make a mention of it. To be fair, before like all the other stuff happened, like when he first came in, I think they were very high on Kanyon.
Well, he was United States champion, tag champion.
Yes. And also at the time, he was getting paid very, very well. So he said, this is like probably near the peak of his run as wrestler, because he's getting paid,
and then
he's throwing parties.
What the was it Mitchell who said he turned his entire house literally into a club?
Yes.
And then here's this weird story that gets brought up because of this. Is he's at a party and women are all on top of this guy, and then he gives no attention, into which a lady goes up to Mitchell and says, "I think your friend might be gay," and this gets brought back to Kanyon, and Canyon's way of thinking it is, all right, I'm going to make a porno. I'm going to make a porno where you, James, are going to film it, and I'm going to fuck a lady. And so that all gets set up, and Canyon's like hours late. So Mitchell ends up being the one who fucks her, is what the show kind of portrayed it as. So. With the Mortis mask on.
And that would all lead to the gun situation and him.
Yeah, this is after all of that.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and so Mitchell is fucking with the Mortis mask, and the whole point is that Kanyon wants to make this porno and then show it around to the guys to prove to them that he's not gay. And then Kanyon and Mitchell start watching it, and he gets like extremely pissed off, right? Yeah. Was he gets pissed off, or does he get really sad?
No, he gets pissed off.
Yeah.
And that's where the gun thing comes from.
Yeah. And he gets pissed off and he pushes Mitchell over. By the way, the lady is still with them. It's portrayed as well.
Yeah.
And he just loses his fucking mind. And this is where Mitchell pulls out the gun that he had under his bed and says, "I'm gonna kill you."
I've had it. I'm sick of you pushing me around. What? And Kanyon didn't back down.
Kanyon did not back down.
You have to think, if that shit went any further than what it did, like if anybody had made any sort of other movement, that this whole thing would have, it just, oh my god, it's so crazy, because the ending of this all is crazy enough, but to think if that would have been the ending right there, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean,
so
again, we a whole different show.
Yeah, Kanyon, at this point, he's still in the WWE, but eventually he gets injured.
His shoulder, right?
Yeah, he injures his shoulder, and at that point now he's worried about his spot, because you know about the fact that when it comes to WWE and their track record with injured guys, especially when they're not high up on the card, that you can lose a lot of that steam, and so Kanyon was trying to find a way to. He took steroids just to try to heal faster, but that backfired on him, because he left a needle out, sit out for the end. He got a blood infection from the needle, so he spent, I believe, 18 months recovering from his injury, and during that time he was battling depression at that point as well. But it was, I think it was Vince who said after that 18, like, he had an idea for Kanyon.
Yeah, about that idea.
And apparently, so during this time, Taker was doing a feud with Heyman, I believe. And
was before this, was this also the story that Luke Hawx told about them having to restrain him?
No.
Or was that later on?
I think that was later on.
Oh, okay.
So they had an idea. So it's like Paul was going to present Taker with a gift in the middle of the night. And they wanted Kanyon, basically, they wanted to reveal that under the box it would be Kanyon, and he'd be dressed as Boy George singing
Do you really want to hurt me? Really with a lisp. Like an over-the-top lisp.
And apparently, during this time, the Bucks were there for that show.
Yeah, they were there. They had become friends. No, not friends yet, right? No,
Not yet.
They were just fans. They were big fans of Kanyon.
But then they got to witness Kanyon doing this whole spiel, and in the
process,
and
he gets fucked up.
Yeah, what does Kanyon get? He gets fucking just
annihilated.
Yeah,
he gets beaten down by the Undertaker for like minutes.
And then the chair shot.
And then the fucking chair shot to the head, unprotected,
and
hard as fuck from goddamn Calloway.
This was the story that I had already heard of beforehand because it made the rumblings coming out of last week with this being the preview, and even before then about whether or not was this a contemplated maneuver by the locker room guys, by the W. Was it because of his sexuality? What was this? Because, and the Bucks make a great point. This wasn't like Spanky when he gets killed by Undertaker because, Spanky wasn't really signed. I think he might, if he was in like OVW or whatever. This is Kanyon. We know Kanyon. Right. He's been champion in this company. This isn't like you bring back some random guy and he gets fucked. Like, this was Chris Kanyon. People know who Chris Kanyon is, and they kill him. Undertaker murders him with this chair shot. And so, the question is, was this motivated?
Like, no matter how you put it, even back then looking at that it felt unnecessary.
It was unnecessary.
It was.
I know it.
Even if this thing wasn't personally motivated against Kanyon, what was the end game here? What was the point? He never.
What was this trying to prove? And he doesn't.
He never went into a fucking program with the Undertaker. He never got his Undertaker never got his comeuppance.
But even in the promo, I don't think they mentioned that it's Kanyon. They strictly go with like the whole, it's Boy George. George.
They had to mention on commentary that it was fucking Kanyon. I think Cole or Taz mentioned it was Kanyon, and that was it.
Like, I don't know. It doesn't look good either way, because it's either on one hand, either at one hand it's because he's gay, which is already, like, that's the worst outcome.
Yes.
Or it's the other outcome of, let's just bury this guy for no fucking reason.
It's so...
Thank you for signing with our company. Here's a massively bad chair shot that could completely ruin you. And who knows, that might have, that probably didn't help with the already fucked up brain that Kanyon had at this point with the paranoia and the schizophrenia and the bipolar disorder.
It was so unbelievable.
And also it's Boy George, who's a gay singer.
Mm-hmm.
And he's out there doing the lisp. And he's like doing all like the moves and stuff. It's like, the more you look into it, it's more like, how else was this not a rip? Because by this point, you got to think it had gotten out through the back. Or at least if it hadn't got cut out completely, people were already having the rumblings of things that they had heard. I don't know.
So they mentioned the fact that after this, he was pretty much dead on arrival. He did some shit on Velocity. That's about it. And then he was released from WWE. Mitchell said that Kanyon said he was being punished by WWE for being gay, but then he admitted that it wasn't true. He was just using that as an excuse in case he needed to sue them, which is, I guess that was a thought of his to get money. But after this, we then start seeing Kanyon after his release. He starts mentoring new wrestlers, so to speak. This is where the Bucks and Brian Cage come into
Luke Hawx,
because he had trained or heavily influenced them in the early parts of the career. I believe Matt and Nick. I don't know if they met them, but I think he met them when Matt was 19 and Nick was 16,
17, yeah.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
And he met Brian Cage because he worked an indie show, and Brian wanted to put him over, and Kanyon said, "No, bro, this is your promotion. You go over."
Mm-hmm.
which is already just an upstanding thing. Somebody like Brian Cage, who in this footage is like so unrecognizable. Like, is little pudgy Brian Cage.
Luke,
he's not even he's not even Brian Logan yet.
No.
Chris Logan, or whatever his name was in WWE. And he puts him over big, and that started their friendship. And the Bucks became real close with him. They were talking like, how, do you go one day, this is like one of your idols, to being like, oh, he's calling you every day.
Yeah.
Which was probably a cool thing for them. Chris obviously cared about the future,
Luke,
but his demons were starting to catch up.
Yeah. There was a point where Luke, I don't know what that. So Kanyon, I guess they were all hanging out, and Kanyon,
well, this is also at the point where he makes it clear that Kanyon had like lost his house and shit.
Yeah.
So he had nowhere to stay, so he went to stay at Luke Hawx's house.
Mm-hmm.
And he was having bad paranoia trips. Something about where he always had to go out because he was going somewhere. And they bring up Scientology building was near their house.
Mm-hmm.
And there would be points where he would just say, oh, I'll be home in like 10 minutes. And instead he would be gone for like 3 hours riding down the road that led to the Scientology building. And it got so bad one night that they had to literally force him down because they were worried. Yeah, strap him, because they were worried that he was going to go out and either do something bad to someone or to himself. And they weren't going to let that happen because they knew that if he fell asleep, the next day he'd wake up and wouldn't remember it because that's how fucked up he was.
And I think it is at that point where he ends up going to get help, and that's when he's treated with bipolar disorder. After this, though, was pretty much one of the biggest parts of this whole thing, was that Kanyon went to go get help, and at that point he came to terms with his own sexuality, and so he realized that he had to start telling people, who he was and how he was, and so he just decided to go out.
Yeah, some match in 2006 with DDP at some
but even before that,
independent show.
He went and told his family and his friends, most notably.
Oh, yes.
Luke,
and they were all like, okay.
And even Cage, who was like, I don't know if he was like with that at the time. Like, I don't know what his views on Cage.
What it sounded like is that at the time, I assume, back then, it was, even in 2006, which is not that like far away from where we are now.
Right.
It still wasn't a thing that was accepted still yet.
Uh-huh.
And he was pretty much, he's a young kid and he thought about it. And then it kind of just snapped and he was like, what the fuck the hell does that matter?
Yeah. What would that change?
What does that change? That doesn't change Chris. He's still Chris.
Yeah.
And he said that actually really like helped him in his later life of accepting stuff like that, which is really shocking with everything that just came out.
Kanyon was shocked because the story with Luke. He told Luke, and he was like, "Oh, he's like, okay, what is that?" And he's like,
"Oh, you don't hate me."
He's like, "Why would I hate you?" And that's like when it really, that's when it hits. That's when it fucking hits. Jesus. They want. Mitchell goes on to say how Kanyon wanted to go on and be, the first openly gay wrestler in professional wrestling. He wanted to fill.
Then this leads to the story about Orlando Jordan.
Yeah.
That they were going to make his bisexuality a part of his character, which never happens because Orlando Jordan ends up getting released anyway. But Kanyon writes a pen letter to Stephanie McMahon, pretty much pleading, saying, don't do it with this guy, do it with me. I have more of I can be more open with people, and I can be this great spokesperson about it. And she pretty much was like, I love it. I got to talk to all of these other people. Pretty much being like, we got somebody else.
Right.
Which ended up not really mattering because they got rid of Orlando Jordan anyway.
Yeah.
Right. And then we all know that he tried that in TNA and we saw how that worked out.
Which is an interesting situation because listening to Solid Monster bring up the fact that Orlando Jordan does his gimmick on Impact, which was a travesty. That whole fucking I don't know. That was not anywhere. The classness on that was awful. And 4 days later, Kanyon kills himself.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not saying that necessarily was the reason, but, being such a wrestling fan that Kanyon was, it must have made the rounds to him eventually, and he saw it. And to see what could have been a more positive, pun intended, situation for Kanyon doing the gimmick turned into pretty much a joke on Orlando Jordan's part, and mainly to the wrestling world still at that point, being like, yeah, gay is funny.
So we get to the point, now this is the Howard Stern segment of the show. And it's
yes, the Howard Stern, the second real big story of this whole thing.
So
yeah, that one was...
Howard had brought up that, and this is what fucking Howard Stern does. He just...
Well, also, he had become like a regular on there.
Right.
Yeah.
Which already was a bad thing, because it's, it's
Howard
nothing
Stern,
against...
I'm going to say this. I don't know Howard Stern personally. I don't think anyone knows Howard Stern personally. He's probably a really good guy when he's not under the persona, but he is the biggest gaslighter you have ever seen in terms of...
Yeah.
He is.
And but I mean, it's obviously he's doing it for the intent of his ratings. And
he shows borderline sociopathic tendencies whenever he interviews somebody. Has zero fucking heart in half the things he does, and it's literally all for the sake of pushing the envelope and getting a rating to get noticed. Like, when he calls himself the king of media, like Mr. Controversy, that's true, he is, because he doesn't care. And this, to him, it just boiled down to, oh, there's this gay wrestler, let me push the envelope, and it's WWE. I've heard things. Let's see if I can get something out of him. And so it just boiled down to him pushing something that obviously it just made everybody look bad.
So,
and
I'll finish your thing.
No, I'm done.
Okay, so basically Howard, he goes in. Mind you, Cena is his guest. And in 2006, Cena is the top dude in the WWE. And
Cena is... So, I guess we'll just say, at that point, in 2006, Cena, while was the top dude, he is light years ahead from personality-wise.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Cena was a dick.
He was still, 100% company guy.
Yeah.
Not that he isn't now, but this was say exactly what we want you to say. You speak exactly how we want you to speak.
Yeah, this is borderline.
Everybody
company guy,
but everybody gets that role when you're in the WWE. You need that company dude. It's not, and that's not a slight on Cena. Fucking Howard had to go and catch him off with something, and it's like, what do you want me to fucking say here?
I'm not gonna say that they fired him because he's gay, because that makes me, not only do I end up going back bad, there goes my company. There goes what I'm like. He was also still very young. This is and they just take it. Obviously, Howard doing what Howard does, he shit stirred, and this is what happened.
And at the end, it didn't matter because Cena still looked bad in the interview, no matter what he fucking did. Because then he goes on and says, he wasn't really that good. Bruh, that was a fucking insult. That was not cool. And again, it's because of Howard and how he made that environment.
So Cena pretty much says that Kane came out.
Which this led to Cena trending because people were trying to cancel John Cena. Which I think is stupid.
Yeah.
But
I've said it over and over again. Cancel culture is a joke.
If Cena would have said, "Oh yeah, he's fuck him because he's gay," different story. Cena just went and the company guy was like, "Nope, he got fired because he bad."
Said that
I'm
Kanyon,
What do you want him to say?
He said that Kanyon came out after he was fired.
Yeah.
That he wasn't any good. I don't think he said anything bad, was anything wrong about Kanyon being gay, which I think how some people misinterpreted it.
And yeah, it's like
yes.
If anything, he basically said no. Like, he was talking about the fact of his wrestling skill. That he wasn't that good. Like, he wasn't a good enough guy, star-wise, talent-wise, to make it. Which, again, that could be debatable.
Right.
And I got what was said. Even back then, I got what was said. And I still found it a bit dickish and kind of fucked up that Cena said it. But at the same time, I realized, well, you know, when you're doing an interview with Howard Stern, shit talking is, when you do a thing with Howard Stern,
this kind of thing is kind of expected.
Howard Stern's main thing is gaslighting. Oh, did I mention gaslighting?
Yeah.
And then this leads to Kanyon hearing the Cena thing. He gives his own, you know, he states his own thing, you know, kind of pretty much leaning towards the gay part, which we had already known from Mitchell was not true. So he's trying to put that narrative on. And this leads to Ric Flair, which originally they wanted Vince, and he said no. So, and I think then they wanted Triple H, and that didn't work out. So here's Ric Flair.
Mind you,
and
Cage tells that Kanyon loved Flair.
That was his favorite wrestler.
Yeah, his favorite wrestler. And then what the fuck does Rick go on and say, Adam?
Ric Flair says, "Fuck you, you suck, kid."
You're not a Ric Flair.
You're not Ric Flair. You'll never be Ric Flair. You're not that good, kid. That's why you were fired, not because you're gay, but because you suck. Like the fuck. Like, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah, remember, this is the same Ric Flair. I think at that time the plane ride from hell thing was going on, and
now Flair had posted on Twitter before the episode came out, because I assume he's, you know, still completely under the magnifying glass after last week. He doesn't want more shit to come out, and he pretty much already he apologized and said that he didn't, he didn't think what had happened was going to be such an impact, and he felt so bad that Kanyon felt the way he did because of the words he said.
Can I just point out?
Ric Flair, blah blah blah.
I'm just sort of shut up, Rick. You knew damn well what you were doing. I'm sorry.
Because the difference.
Here's the problem. You knew. You just were in a position that you didn't give a shit.
And like this
you got away with so much stuff your entire life.
And this isn't like John Cena, who's young and impressionable. This is Ric Flair at this point. This dude's what, 50 already? Like
he's probably
like you know already.
I think in 2006, I think he just might have turned 60.
Yeah, at that point you're 6 years old. You're grandfathered in. You've been around the block. You were in WCW when Kanyon was there. Like, this isn't you making a company like response. This was your true opinion. Yeah, and to just put that out there, and then to hear about what happened afterwards, where he went right from the studio and almost threw himself in front of a subway.
It's like, come on, Rick. Like, I'm sorry. The thing about that is, you can make, like, I think Rick can make that excuse of, well, I was pressured in, the situation itself. But at the same time, you really could have chosen your words carefully. You really could have. Nobody was putting a gun to your head to tell you what you said. You just decided to you decided to kick someone that was already mentally not okay, who heard from a young John Cena who is at the top of the company at this point that, he was let go because he wasn't that good of a worker, which as a wrestler, that should be a fucking insult, because it's like, I bust my ass just as much as you or anybody else, and you're gonna fucking tell me that I wasn't good? I'm sorry, even though you're the main eventer, who the fuck is you? Like, who the fuck is you, kid, except Vince's pet project at that point? I busted my ass. And then you have your idol say, well, you're never going to be Ric Flair. You weren't that good. That's fucking heartbreaking. And now Rick's going to go on there and says, I don't want anything else. I apologize. I didn't think it was going to be that much of an impact. To me, that just sounds like a man who, to me, when Rick's saying that, it just sounds like somebody who now is understanding that your past has a way to haunt you. And since Rick doesn't have that kind of protection anymore that he used to have well into the 80s, down the line into the early 2000s, damn right, a lot of his stuff is going to get mentioned and talked about. Like, a couple of us joked around about this, and it's true. If Vice decided to do a Dark Side of the Ring on Ric Flair, oh my lord!
I think you need to make like a 4-parter.
That's a 5-parter right there. And you'll do it, and you'll basically do a part on his years, the 80s, part 1, the 90s, part 2, and then 3, 4, and 5 will be the early 2000s and present. Like, yeah, I'm not kidding.
Yeah. Oh, well,
it's like,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. I kind of want attention because that kind of brought up. That was a thing I remember watching a long while back, and I hated how that was done. That kind of angered me. It angered me back then, and it angered me now. Because I'm sitting here going, he was obviously hurting, and you POSs couldn't even. You POSs not only didn't see it, you didn't care to see it. And you could have helped him, but you didn't. And instead, you drove him further into his own head, which he didn't need.
So, now we are up to the 2010s. Mitchell brings out, the last time, one of the few times, or the last few times he's in a ring, he's at a show where he went up against Mikey Whipwreck and just pretty much flat out said that the match was awful. Getting no reaction. At the point, Kanyon was, the fans were laughing at him, and obviously Kanyon was not giving it his all. He was kind of down. But after the show, he also makes mention that Kanyon was making self-deprecating gay jokes, so that people were now laughing with him. So now that he's not at the butt end of the jokes, as they were going back to a hotel, Kanyon pretty much tells Mitchell that he was sore because.
Before that, they have that little Mitchell has the interaction with one of the people at the bar, and he goes up and talks about the jokes that Kanyon was making, and how the reaction was. And the guy pretty much tells Mitchell, and I think others that were there as well, but not Kanyon. Kanyon wasn't involved in that to tell their friend thank you, because tonight gave me the reason to come out myself, just because he saw how the reaction was between Kanyon and Mitchell and the rest of the boys, and how he could just freely be making the jokes and everything, and everybody's having a fun time, and no one's being looked at, cross-eyed. That made this guy feel like I can have the exact same, reaction as well. And he did. And like Saya said, this leads to an interaction in the parking lot. And Mitchell tells him, dude, do you see what the fuck happened in there? You inspired people. And Kanyon's like, I'm going to kill myself. And Mitchell says, you're being selfish about it.
Yeah.
And he knew that day that was it.
Well, okay. So he said he throws himself in the car. They start, arguing. Tells Kanyon he's being selfish. But apparently, after that they let things cool down. They hug, let everything go. Kanyon then drove Mitchell to the airport. They talked with each other, and they were joking and all that stuff. But Mitchell, during the plane ride and when he got back, just broke down in tears in front of his wife, and his wife had to ask what's wrong, what's going on, and he pretty much says to her, he says, I think that was the last time I'm going to see Chris alive. And he was right, because like right after this, April 2nd, 2010, he was found dead in his childhood home in Queens, and it was said that he died of an overdose of antidepressants at the age of 40. It obviously came to a shock. A shock to everyone, is like everyone he was close to. They said that at least now he wasn't suffering anymore. So if there's anything that like that, they obviously they love and miss him, but at least he wasn't suffering. Mitchell says that Chris was a tortured soul, and he kind of wishes that there were more people, that could have helped him in this situation.
He says at the end that if there's one takeaway that you can take from his experience in this entire episode, is no matter what secrets or what issues someone might have, no matter what they say or how they may come about it, get them help. Doesn't matter how they might react to you after that. You're saving their lives. You could be saving them, and they're gonna love you for it in the long run. Doesn't matter what secrets you have. If you know somebody that's having the exact same issues of schizophrenia or bipolar or, sexuality identity, am I saying that right? Find a way and get your friend the help that they deserve, and be there and understand them. Because Mitchell says if only he knew a little bit better, then maybe he would have been able to save his friend.
They go on to show a lot of highlights. Basically,
but yeah, the episode is sad, but at least this little end part makes it a little bit more uplifting because of what Kanyon has done for the future.
The influence again is like, if he's not, he might be the most underrated wrestler of all time. Because looking
honestly
at the highlights of this and seeing just the amount of stuff, just people, even today's main eventers. People main eventing today have taken from this guy. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Like, one of the things I think people need to understand as a wrestling fan, I said it before and I'll say it again. Just when you look at the Young Bucks and you look at Brian Cage, that's Chris Kanyon's legacy. That's the kids he helped train and made them who they are today. Every time you see certain moves being done, Chris Kanyon did them. Like a lot of people, again, like I said, no one was doing the deadlift Superman plex into the ring. Kanyon was the first to start doing that.
You did a buckshot.
Yeah, he was the first to start doing the buckshot.
He's like the innovator of the flatliner.
Yeah. The flatliner was that's the thing people forget. No one was doing the flatliner at that time. Kanyon was the first to start doing it. Along with the fact that if you think about it, he did multiple different variations of drivers and suplexes, and he literally innovated so many different moves that no one's ever seen before. And it kind of sucks now that when you look at it, it's like he should have been a millionaire. Yeah. He should have been making millions just on half the stuff he did in that ring. But he didn't. But at the same time, when you look at Brian Cage, when you look at the Young Bucks, hell, when you look at any dude in the independent scene now, do half of the moves they do. About a couple percentage of them are from Japan, yes. But do you know what the rest of that's from? Chris Kanyon. Chris Kanyon was indie before Chris Kanyon was indie before indie became popular.
If there's, as Malik just said, if there's things to take away from this episode, I think it was what Malik just said, and also for the fact that it is so.
Are you?
What the hell? It is so important to help out marginalized groups in not just wrestling, but in all spaces.
Yes.
Because I don't even want to fucking know. Like, how do you deal with the fact that you feel like you're the only person of this type of thing? Like, you don't have anyone else to help you through that, which was basically what Kanyon was going through. He didn't feel like he had anybody to help him deal with that. And that kind of sucks, but in a way, it's like, if people want to know why, like, you see something like an Effie's gay brunch, or a Paris is bumping, or something like that, and wonder why that's, like this gets so attention. It's because, think of it like this. You know how many of these people on these shows who are wrestling on these shows have probably felt the way Kanyon does? That have probably felt the exact same way throughout their entire fucking childhoods, teenage years, hell, even
Effie in general.
Yes!
Effie in general was literally dying in Florida. All the while playing stereotypes. Dying in Florida until somebody told him, fuck, let me get you out of Florida.
It is,
and the moment he got out of Florida, he was good.
It is so important for everybody to feel like they have a place to belong. Especially wrestling, where our whole thing is that everybody does have a fucking place here. Where shit can be as ridiculous as possible. And that's all fucking okay. It is all under the general basis of wrestling, in which we all fucking love here. It's why this shit is so important. That's why when you see people like Effie, or a Jake Atlas, or an Ali Catch, or an MV Young, or a Nyla Rose, or a Candy Lee, all these other
Sunny Kiss.
Yes. These
Yosuke Santa Maria.
All these big time wrestling names that are now starting to make it. And they're a part of the LGBTQ plus community. It is so important. It is so important that every single one of those human beings are seen, because then they get another eye, or another person. I can do that too, and I'm not fucking alone in this battle. That's why it's so fucking important. And the best part is
they're not marginalized by these over-the-top stereotypical characters anymore.
No,
like Adrian Adonis, or Goldust, or Billy and Chuck. Like, they're just wrestlers that just so happen to be gay, or trans, or bi, or poly. It doesn't matter.
Or even Adrian Street to an extent.
Yeah, even Adrian Street. Even though he was a bit more progressive with it.
He was he was androgynous, but everybody always puts Adrian Street in that category of the gay wrestling stereotype, which, again, I think people need to legit take him out of that, because he never said he was, nor did he act it. He was androgynous.
But you look at something like Effie, and it's like, the gimmick is not that Effie's gay, it's just he makes it a part of the act. It's not like, oh, let's make fun of the fact that he is, or let's put it down that he is, or let's make any of these other people, like, their whole gimmick is, you throw that in the Fed, and your whole goddamn persona is now, you are the gay guy. And it's like, that's not what it should be anymore.
No.
And somebody like Chris Kanyon, if he was still here, I would be so happy, honestly. And I honestly as well, I feel like he would be he would finally be the spokesperson that he wanted to be in today's day and age if he was still around. And it's a damn shame that he's gone.
Yep.
But if what his legacy has been able to do for others, he's not gone, because his legacy does continue to live on in stuff like Effie's Big Gay Brunch and all the other wrestlers who have come out. I have to assume some of that is owed to somebody like Chris Kanyon, who kept that shit a secret his whole life because he wasn't comfortable, and then it was too late when it was finally accepted. So, another harder episode. Not as hard as last week.
If it makes anybody feel better, the next week's episode will be on...
Yes! Onita!
FMW.
Onita! They got Onita and Foley and Terry Funk and Sabu, and oh my god!
Yeah, we get to talk about the humble beginnings of deathmatch wrestling in Japan.
Yes.
That's good.
After, 2 very, hard weeks of, just awful shit on the plane ride from hell, and then this really sad, but also at the same point, bittersweet, uplifting story with Kanyon. It's time to get fucking bloody! So if you really enjoyed the New Jack episode, or you really enjoyed the Nick Gage episode from earlier in the season, get ready, because this is just going to be as crazy and insane and ridiculous and fucked up as it is. You get the story of frontier martial art wrestling, and of course, the true Japanese god of deathmatch wrestling, Atsushi Onita.
Mm-hmm.
We about to be in for some fun shit, and Sabu is on it. That's my boy.
The major cult icon, indie icon of the 90s.
Who, by the way, October 31st, Halloween in Trenton, New Jersey, will be fighting Matt Tremont in an exploding death match in the States.
Oh boy.
For H2O Wrestling.
Oh god. Well, that's
where this is going.
Yeah. Well, that's all next. That's all on next episode and next week's episode. But it is now time for our final segment of the night. Malik, we have given you approximately nearly 3.5 hours. Have you come up with a topic that you would like for us to discuss tonight?
Well, my journey into professional wrestling.
Okay.
Or in some cases, just kind of talking about how I came to be into getting into wrestling and things of that nature. So it's weird because I'm in that point in my life where I don't have much time. I got until my 30s. If I hit 40, I'm out. I have so little time to get to places I want to be at. And I've hit some bumps along the way, but I know I'll make it. So for those that don't know, I started training when I was 24. I started pro wrestling training at 24. And things kind of happened that it didn't work out the way it should have. And I never got to get my first official match until I turned 30. So do the math on that one. But ever since I did get my first match and I got that taste, and it was an emotional moment for me, and it made me realize that, yeah, I could do this. I really can. I started going to a lot of shit. I started getting some matches here and there. Most of the matches I got was at a small little place in Alabama called RCCW. It stood for Rocket City Championship Wrestling. Where I would get my matches, and honestly, having matches has gotten me to really love wrestling more than I've ever loved it before. because now that I'm actually living something that I wanted to live, and a lot of people didn't want me to be it. Some showed support, but at the same time, most felt that my priorities were skewed. You know, the typical thing a lot of guys that start out always have to deal with. But for anybody out there that ever thought about it, don't let doubt yourself or anyone stop you from being it. But I will tell you, start early. If you're 19, start off. If you're in your 20s, start off. Don't be like me and wait till you're 30. After you had to deal with crippling debt and depression the majority of your life while going through a crisis. Don't be like me.
It's also better to start early because your body's more... It can take more punishment at 18 than it be at, like, 31.
Right. Which, funny enough, my body can take some punishment. So
I'm not saying you already started. So your body's, like, already, like, it has that. It's kind of gotten used to it.
Like, even though it took me 7 years to get back into the ring, I could still feel like, nothing's hurting.
Right. What would you say would be your biggest goal so far heading into your new found wrestling career?
My goals so far? Oh, I have a lot of them. First goal. I want to get good enough. I want to improve myself physically, mentally, emotionally in wrestling. So, first goal, obviously, get in better shape. Second goal, never stop learning. Third goal, I want to make it to I want to at least make it to GCW.
Nice.
Fourth goal, if I can get an ROH dark match, I'll be happy. I legit don't see here's the thing. If I get lucky and get a dark and see myself on a dark match on AEW, which I don't think I'll ever see, but if I can get like ROH, MLW, hell, if I get an Impact dark match, I'll be happy as hell. I'll be cool. I'll be set. I'm fine. But there's just a lot of guys I want to have matches with. I want to have those battles with AJ Gray. I want to face the Robert Martyrs. I want to face AJ Gray. I want Jordan Oliver. That'd be a hell of a match to have. Like, a lot of my stuff right now is just like get in better ring shape, learn all I can, and then have the best damn matches with people that I've met, looked up to, and enjoy watching. So, yeah. Facing Robert Martyr would be great. Facing AJ Gray would be great. Facing Colby Corino would be fun. Getting to face my trainer Kerry Alpha would also be great. Before he decides to retire, that'd be I would at least want that. A lot of stuff, but those are my main goals.
Well, speaking of which, considering that, I don't know if you would know the schedule, but considering that what you're up to, do you know, if you wanted to give it a little shout out, do you know when is the next time you are booked to have a match in a promotion?
Right now it is very unclear because some stuff happened where I couldn't take booking. Story short, I had a COVID scare and I had to take a test. So.
All right.
So I didn't go to a lot of shows because I wasn't about to risk that shit.
Yeah, that's understandable.
And a lot of people are like, but you got vaccinated, and
people need to fucking realize you can still get COVID. if you are vaccinated. And in doing so, if you get COVID and you give COVID to someone who is not vaccinated, that could still do damage.
Not only that, but we're currently in the tail end of our first shot. We're ready for boosters, so shit's wearing off.
Yeah.
Yep. So there's that too. That's why I kind of just didn't take shows. So right now I don't know how it's looking. For all I know, I could probably go to one of the shows and hope I can get it. I can get booked. But other than that, I don't know how it's looking. But I promise you all will be the first to know, because I will post that shit in every Discord chat I'm in.
So, trained by the Carnies, huh? That's pretty sick.
I was trained by Carrie.
That's really cool.
Actually, I was trained by Carrie. Well, actually, it goes like this. I was trained. So we'll get into this. I was trained by Chris Michaels and Wolfie D.
PG-13.
No
way.
You're thinking of Jamie Dundee. And
no, Wolfie D was in the team too, right?
Yeah, he was. Wolfie D. I was trained by Wolfie D, and I was trained by Chris Michaels. Chris Michaels is a guy who has like, I think now 20, 30 plus years in the business. He was one of the former trainers at OVW that helped train the class of the Dave Batistas, John Cena's, and
former junior champion, light heavyweight champion.
Chris Michaels, no.
I'm saying somebody else.
But I was trained by him, and then stuff kind of happened, and I stopped. Carrie basically gave me pointers and got me my first match. So I have the training from them, but I always tell people Carrie is also a trainer of mine. I always say that I have 3 trainers: Chris Michaels, Wolfie D, and Carrie Awful. Which, Carrie's fun. I love Carrie. Carrie's a great guy. And he deserves the fucking world for what he gives people. And every person that's ever been his student learned a lot from him. And like I said, he deserves the world. Fun fact, I don't think people know this, but Carrie Awful kind of helped AJ Gray out.
Oh, no way.
Like, it's so funny because Carrie has Carrie kind of has a connection to a lot of the guys that he helped out and gave pointers, and they became so much, and they became like real big. They became so much better down the line. But yeah, love Carrie.
That was great.
That's why I said, like, before Carrie ever retires, I want at least a match with him. Because to me, facing Carrie will have me understand what level I'm at and what level I need to be at. That's my test, Carrie Awful will be if I ever have a match with Carrie Awful, that's my test to see where I'm at and where I need to be,
All right. Well, yeah. If you are near Malik area or near his wherever, like anytime, like I'm sure, like next time he does have a match. Like again, he already told us we'll be the first to know, and we will be the first ones to let you know, because of course we have the indie spotlight on here. I'll let Adam know ahead of time, just to let you know that please give this guy your support. Because I'm not just saying that as a friend, I'm saying this as a dude who's actually seen him. He's actually really, really freaking good. And it goes for that and for like a lot of the indie guys, because your guys' support more than anything means the world to these guys, because it gives them more opportunities to do stuff outside of their home promotions as well. So give Malik, support Malik, support indie wrestling. I know this is Adam's gimmick, but I'm stealing it. Yeah.
You leave me with nothing.
You already did the indie spotlight.
That's my line.
Oh yeah, I guess you do the. Okay.
My line.
All right. Well, with all that being said, I think that's about where we're going to wrap things up. Malik, please tell all these lovely people where they can find you all over the interwebs.
All right. So, for those of you that want to know something about me, the real life Malik Brown, who is a dork that's living his wrestling dream, an old man with a youthful soul, as I like to say, because everybody thinks 30 is still old. You can follow me on my Twitter at the Jaguar Prince. You can follow me on my other accounts on Twitter, such as my main Twitter for, the Determination Machine. You can also follow my YouTube account, which, it doesn't have Battle Pro, but it's probably going to have something else down the line. You'll probably see a lot of my matches, my actual matches on that. And yeah, that's pretty much where you'll see a lot of me at. You'll see me on my Twitter and my YouTube.
Nice. Yeah, go give him a follow. And Adam!
And also my Twitch.
Wait, okay.
Follow me on Twitch!
You got a Twitch. What's the Twitch?
The Twitch is Loudman the Third. Watch that.
Yeah.
It's great.
Alright, Adam. Now that I have basically taken your spotlight, is there anything that you would like to add to help close out the show?
Yeah, sure. Dickhead. Support indie wrestling. It's the backbone of professional wrestling. It's what is going to be the homegrown talent. It could be a Malik someday being on your TV screen. So support your local indies, support all indies, because without them, there is no future in professional wrestling. Also, as a man who has now been back-to-back weeks to an AEW event, minus the awful situations that an arena may run into, they are the best wrestling events and shows that your money can buy. And it's cheap money, my friend. These tickets are not millions of dollars. You can get a great seat for an easy price, and you're not going to regret it, because you're going to get Rampage as well, and you're going to get Elevation, and you're going to get like 5 hours of just nonstop professional wrestling in your veins, with great storytelling and great wrestlers and just great everything, and just a great atmosphere surrounded by people who have been looking for this just as much as you have. So do yourself a favor. If it's coming to you, get yourself a ticket. Get them TIXs, on AEW.com, because you're going to be in for one hell of a show. And to piggyback off of what was mentioned earlier in the dark side, if you know anybody, or even if you yourself are dealing with situations that we talked about here today, or about the situations that were talked about on Dark Side, just always know that somebody somewhere is there to support you. Do not turn them away, and don't think they're the enemy if they try to get you the help that you need, because without your support system, you could end up in a bad situation, and nobody wants you to have that happen. We want you to still be with us and enjoy everything that we are, and just be a part of this giant wrestling family that we are all one in together, because without each other, there is none of it. So do yourself that favor. Stick around, because someone's always here to watch your back. And that's all you got here for me, Alexa Cannibliss, this episode of the Four Post Wrestling Massacre.
That was very beautiful, Adam. Very beautiful.
You're gonna fuck it up this time.
I'm not gonna fuck it up. Jesus Christ, dude.
Fucked it up last time.
Alright, well, that's about going to do it, guys, for the Four Post Massacre Podcast. Next week, we're going over Onita and FMW, so that should be a lot more fun this time around. We're gonna be going over AEW Dynamite, Rampage as well, and Psych Baby. Next week we're talking about the motherfucking Gun Club up in this bitch. Billy,
no,
Austin,
why?
Colton,
Why does this have to happen to me? Why can't I ever be happy?
Trio,
Why? Why? I don't want to see the sons of asses. I don't
listen.
No, I don't want to see the ass sons. No, ass sons.
You asked the question, why can't you be happy? Because you're an Alexa Bliss fan, that's why.
I hate it. I quit. I don't want to be here anymore.
And that is why I run this fucking show. Good night, everybody!
Ass sons.